Active SUI.
Okay, the vortex is getting bigger.
Affirmative, I see it. It's very, very warm out here, folks. It's unbelievable how warm it is back behind that front squirrel line.
Oh man, that's great.
Guys, it looks like it's about 2 miles south of Washington.
Reconnect. I'll do that. Won't do it.
At this time.
It's busy. Yeah, it won't hang up. Well, excellent.
1 hour. And if it makes Mustang, it could make on into Oklahoma County. Now, normally they do not last this long, but this storm has a history of producing tornadoes.
Gary, we have lots of emergency vehicles going down the road now.
A lot of emergency vehicles going down the road.
There must have been a structure up here hit somewhere. Anybody that gets hit by that thing, the house is going to be leveled, I guarantee you.
So the stress below ground shelter. Now, you folks in Pocasset, Tuttle, Amber, Mustang have time to move to a place of safety. This is when you should do it. Do not try to ride this storm out in your home unless you are trapped. This is a major tornado of significant proportions. Wind speeds we don't
Look at that
know,
damage.
but it's going to level most houses.
Gary,
Yes.
we have damage. We have, looks like, we're blocked off. We can't go any further here. It went across the house area, and it's leveled all the power lines. Oh, brother, we've got power lines stretching all across the road. We've got a traffic jam.
You going to be able to get through it?
We've got chase vehicles, new chase vehicles backing up, trying to get out of here. We've got emergency vehicles that can't get through because the power lines are down.
The tornado is to your northeast.
Okay, we'll have to turn around and go back.
Okay. Someone tracked down Mark Dawson. Val, we're going to talk to you as we see this tornado. We still see a huge bell-shaped, that's a bell-shaped bottom without the bell at the bottom. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And we're seeing still a large tornado on the ground, not quite as large as far as being defined, but we see a huge circulation that, I don't know, it's a quarter mile across or what it is, but it appears to be very huge. And I will tell you folks, once again, as you watch this tornado, if it maintains itself, now it's produced several tornadoes. Let's go to Storm Action 3. Go to Storm Action 3. Oh my gosh. Where's this from and who is this? This is Mike and Dan. Are they on? This is the tornado on the ground just moments ago. This is a wedge tornado. This is the kind you have to be below ground level.
I'm going to take this road
Give
here.
me his location on that shot. Give me a location on it. This tornado is due west of Chickasha. Tornado is due west of Chickasha, moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. Due west of Chickasha. Looks like back, okay, but let's stay with this shot for just a moment. Okay, we're all right. Stay on Ranger 9. There's the shot. Oh, whoa.
Gary.
Yep.
It's getting bigger again. It got smaller there briefly just a while ago. Now it's getting bigger. It's still a wedge.
Okay.
Very large. It's moving about 2 miles away from us now because we had to turn around and go back with everybody else.
Okay.
But it's still on the ground. It's still doing lots of damage.
We're seeing a little bit of wrap around with it, but I think it's just so major, the circulation that we're seeing. Ranger 9 puts the tornado due west of Chickasha. Due maybe 4 miles west of Chickasha. Okay, guys, we're still looking at Ranger 9. Val, you have anything, or are you going the other way right now?
Gary, we're headed east now. It's still on the ground, and it looks like to me it has turned more from the north-northeast, more towards either the northeast or the east-northeast. So, I mean, it's going to pass perilously close to Chickasha.
Okay, let's go to XL very quickly. Here's the tornado right now, and as you look very quickly, let me know if you got a good shot there.
Okay.
Here's Chickasha. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! It is turning east-northeast toward the Chickasha area. It is moving east-northeast toward the Chickasha area. So you folks in north, in fact, it's all at Chickasha, you should take your immediate tornado precautions. When they become extremely major, they'll turn to the east. So once again, this storm is turning to the east. As you watch, I'm going to bring this around a little bit more to about a 60 on our update. What do you got, Val?
Oh, we're just, it's still big, Gary. Just believe me, it's still a huge tornado. I think I'm starting to lose you.
Okay, I hear you. Val, now with this new projection moving more to the northeast, Chickasha, parts of Chickasha, 611. 611. In
Okay.
Chickasha, take your immediate tornado precautions.
Yeah.
Ranger 9, can Ranger 9 tell us what they have? Val, what do you have?
Gary, it still continues on the ground. It looks like to me, based on our maps and where it's at, especially the north and west side of Chickasha, really need to watch this close.
Val, we have a live unit, car 21 at Chickasha. They report the tornado just west of Chickasha, moving east-northeast. So, folks in Chickasha, let's go to Dop 9000 XL. You folks in Chickasha, take your immediate tornado precautions. This had been moving directly up toward Tuttle and Mustang. It is now turning to the east-northeast.
We have Storm Action 3.
Storm Action 3. Bunch of Storm Action 3. Large cone-shaped tornado. So you folks in the Chickasha area.
Something.
Say again, Val?
Oh, I think I just probably lost half my antennas. We're going on a road with tree branches hanging down
Okay.
here.
Let's, you folks stay with me. Let's go to XL very quickly. And I'm going close. And wow. Okay. This is the circulation. And just bear with me as I save this view so we'll have it for the next few minutes here. Chickasha area. This entire, the circulation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Val, I have a circulation on the mesocyclone 6 miles across from max wind velocities in and out.
That's about right, Gary.
And
That's how big it is.
It is huge. The southern edge is beginning to extend a little more to the south. So Chickasha, take your immediate tornado precautions. Chickasha, then 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, 4 mile, 5 miles. So from Pocasset to just east of Verdon to Chickasha to Amber, take your immediate tornado precautions. This thing is very deadly. Let's
Gary?
go back. Yes,
I'd say that the circulation at the ground is a half a mile wide at least.
it's a half mile wide at least.
I would say half a mile wide at the ground.
Grady County is reporting injuries with this tornado. This is a wedge tornado. This is the type of tornado that you need to be below ground level. I see it wrapping totally around. Is it still well defined?
It's very well defined. I mean, this thing is still a wedge. I mean, it has no signs of lifting. This is definitely going to be a long track tornado, Gary.
Okay.
No signs of lifting. I mean, it looks just like I say, probably a half a mile wide.
Are you moving toward it again, Val?
Say it again.
Are you moving toward it again?
Yes, we are, Gary. We've got it in sight. We're moving east now. We're directly west of Chickasha. Moving east. We're probably about four miles west of Chickasha, moving east on a paved road now.
You're 4 miles west of Chickasha, moving east. Where is it in relationship to you?
Gary, we can see another funnel, actually.
Where's it?
Hey, we've got another funnel behind the first one.
Give me the location.
We've got another funnel probably a mile or a half a mile. I got it. Half a mile behind the first. It's on the ground. There's 2 tornadoes on the ground right now.
Right here, funnel on the ground.
Directly behind the other one. And
Okay,
this-
we see it. We see the funnel. This is a smaller funnel.
Yeah.
It's a little bit to the left. It's right above the, yeah, right there. And that's to the left of the major funnel.
Right.
Gee, many
Yes,
Christmas. Look at
correct.
that.
Oh, and that is getting bigger. The main one is getting bigger, too. Much bigger.
Oh, my gosh.
It's large.
We have a large tornado on the right, and a smaller tornado on the left. Ranger 9, hold your shot. And this is just to the west-northwest of Chickasha. Val, would you agree with that? Give me your location, Val, and tell me
Yeah.
where the tornadoes are.
Gary, we're 3 miles west of Chickasha, and it's almost due north of us, slightly east of due north.
You're 2 miles west. Just a very,
It's
Kevin, just
massive. This thing is massive.
Kevin, just a very quick check, XL. Okay, 2 miles west of Chickasha looking north. This is a huge tornado here, another tornado back here. It is moving east-northeast. Take your immediate tornado precautions. The metro area is up here, back to Ranger 9. Tornado, Ranger 9 has tornado about west, about 3 miles west of Chickasha. Val, can you talk to me? Tell
Yeah,
me.
we've miraculously worked our way up to now probably within a mile and a quarter of it or so.
Okay.
It still continues. It wasn't quite. It's not quite as big at the ground as it was a while ago, but
Well, this Val, the second
it's
one
still
is...
probably between a quarter and a half a mile wide at the ground. Okay.
Oh, lightning in behind it. Still a stovepipe.
Oh, it's definitely a stovepipe, straight down.
Okay.
Oh, Gary, it looks like it's trying to lift. It's trying to dissipate now.
Okay.
Go to XL, please. Go to XL.
Okay. You can see very quickly on XL, as Val said, it looks like it's weakening a little bit, but it may still be on the ground. Chickasha area, in northern half of Chickasha at least. In fact, all Chickasha had to take tornado precautions. From Cassett to Chickasha to Amber to Blanchard. Let me back off again on this plot. Of course.
Oh, it dissipated.
Okay, Val, talk to me.
Gary, I think it dissipated.
Okay.
We cannot see any funnel anymore. I mean, there's just a leftover debris cloud, and even that's going away. It looks like rain has wrapped all the way around the thing.
Well,
right now.
we could see on Meth the hook echo wrapping all the way around. Big power flash. There's a tornado on the ground right now, Val. Either that, is either strong rear flank downdraft or tornado on the ground. That big power flash.
Okay. Yeah, we saw the power flash. Well, Gary, it's wrapped. It's completely wrapped in rain now. It's going to be a lot more difficult now to see it.
But I see a lowering on the right-hand side. I see another lowering come down the left-hand side of the wall cloud. Val, we see a lowering coming toward the ground. This may be our vantage point. Have Ranger 9 pull back on that.
Yeah, Ranger 9. Pull back, baby. Pull back.
There you go. More power. Oh, I see a funnel almost to the ground, Val. Do you see it? Okay. Okay. Ranger 9 is over Chickasha, so we're seeing the circulation a little bit, apparently, a little bit to the north of Chickasha. Another large tornado coming down at this time. My gosh. Another stovepipe tornado coming down. Yes. Val, talk to me again. We see a large wedge tornado.
It's on the ground again, and it's turned into a wedge again.
Okay, Val, we see some red flashing lights. That is the Chickasha Airport. Reference in the middle of the screen. It is north of the Chickasha Airport. Talk to me, Val.
Okay, Gary, it's like it never even missed a beat. It's back on the ground again. It's just as big as it was before. Like I say, it's a wedge again.
South side of the airport. Multiple power line flashes. Debris cloud in the air. Tornado moving through the airport in Chickasha. All right, we've had a report of a tornado west of El Reno. That has not been confirmed, but we'll be watching that very carefully. Here we have a large tornado, easily F3, maybe F4, long track, deadly tornado. It is moving through northern sections, extreme northern Chickasha, the airport area, toward Amber. And you see that red, just a quick check on XL, quick check. And it's moving over toward Amber, Blanchard, Newcastle, Southwest 134th, and Southwest 104th. And you folks in the path of this storm have time to get below ground. You need to be below ground with this storm. This is a deadly tornado. Downtown the foreground, we're looking north. Fortunately, this is moving north of Chickasha. It's crossed Highway 81. It's going to, part of the circulation is going to go right up over the Amber area. It's going to cross Interstate 44. So any of you folks traveling Interstate 44 between Newcastle and Chickasha, if you're moving southward, turn around. Get out of there, go back north, get off this thing. It's about the only thing. You do not go south. If you're on Interstate 44 going to the southwest, if you're on 92, turn around. Circulation is north of Chickasha, up into Amber, Bocasset area. It's moving, let me just give you the Amber 627, which is just about there. And this has a history of producing tornadoes and apparently injuries. Could be into Newcastle, downtown Newcastle 702. The far southwest 134th at 704. Crossing that little section of I-44 there at 706. And the southwest 104th at 706. More at 719. Okay. We have a possible tornado. Boy, this thing has not put down a tornado yet, about 4 miles southwest of Calumet with this particular storm. This is El Reno right over here. This is El Reno. Let me get this thing positioned a little bit for you. I'm going to back off just a bit as we look at it. Let me know when you got other video there. That tornado looks like it's getting ready to come down again. We're looking at this is a tornado warning, Canadian County. This is Canadian County tornado warning. And the circulation looks like it's just the vicinity of Calumet right in here. And it's going to be moving northeast. Northeast about 25. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a storm projection on. And you guys go back to that pic while I put this projection on here. north-northeast about 25.
Gary, I think I see a lower.
You probably do. Okay, let's go back to X. Yeah, it's getting ready to come down again. But do a quick check XL. Quick check XL. Possible tornado with this storm in Calumet. Could affect parts of western El Reno. Could be in Okarche at 703. Kingfisher 724. Go back to Ranger 9. Check. Looks like this thing's about to put a tornado on the ground again. This long track storm. And okay, yeah. We're about to get a funnel on the ground again. Okay, Gary Horker, talk to me.
Yes, sir. We're at 62 nearing 81. As we look directly to our north, Gary, we see a large tornado on the ground. And there's also a point of concern behind us to our south and west. It looks to be, from us in Ranger 9, I guess, a significant lowering there first, but a tornado on the ground directly to our north as we head into Chickasha, Highway 62, very near Highway 81.
You coming in to Chickasha from the west?
That's correct. Coming in, heading east from the west.
Okay. We'd have that tornado now, Gary, looking like it is moving a little bit to the east, over toward Highway 92 now, right in the Amber area.
Yes, Gary?
Talk to me.
Here we've got a large wedge tornado on the ground about 2 miles southeast or east-southeast of the town of Amber.
2 miles east-southeast of Amber, large wedge tornado on the ground.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. That's where it is right now. It's just as big as it's ever been. It's got a massive circulation with it.
Yeah, we see the whole darn thing coming down again, Val.
Yeah, and it's headed in a bad direction.
We got a big wedge, and we'll keep looking at it, Val. And I'm going to mention it's a little to the east-southeast of Amber now, but I have a broad view on it. Could get large hail and damaging winds in Tuttle. It's going to move from Amber right across I-44 into the Blanchard area. So, and let me tell you, this thing is really dangerous. Talk to me, Val.
Gary, it's like I say, it's a very, very large tornado, and it's I would say probably 2 to 3 miles east-southeast of Amber. It's probably getting close to I-44.
Yeah, it's looks like it's just a few miles from I-44. Now, on Newcastle, at the time, it's 7:01.
It's very large, very large.
Val, this is the hugest I've seen all day.
Yeah, it is, Gary. You're right. It's the biggest that I've seen it all day. I mean, I can't even see the other side of it. It's probably, it could be as wide as a mile. It could be as wide as 1 mile.
Keep talking to me.
It looks a lot like the Allison tornado out in the Texas Panhandle back in '95. It's large.
Val, there's an extremely deadly tornado from the Norman Police. You can go to the Irving School. Irving School at 1920 East Alameda. Go to the East Shelter at Irving School, 1920 East Alameda in Norman. The Southwest Shelter, go to Whitaker School. Go to Whitaker School in Norman, 2000 West Brooks. In the Midwest Shelter, now these are great shelters because they're partially below ground. Midwest Shelter in Norman, Cleveland Elementary School, 500 North Sherry. That's from the Norman Police Department. Hopefully it will not make it that far. But I got to tell you, this is a gigantic tornado. This conceivably could be a deadly tornado. Most structures, most houses will not survive this, and it is moving toward Interstate 40. Interstate 44, directly toward. Newcastle is a fairly large area, and
Gary.
Yes.
Gary.
Talk to me.
Okay, Gary, we're going over the bridge right now that goes over I-44.
Okay.
And this thing is still west of I-44, probably a mile or so.
Okay.
But when it gets to I-44, it's moving in such a direction that it's going to travel along the highway for a while.
Okay, Val, we just see a huge tornado. What do you say, half mile, 3/4 mile wide?
Gary, I'm going to say approaching a mile wide.
Okay. Now this thing is moving toward I-44. It's probably going to take in part of Blanchard, part of Newcastle. It could come in very close to Southwest 134th and Southwest 106th. Could reach parts of Moore at 719. If it turns into the right, it's going to go into the Norman area. Okay, Val, talk to me.
Well, Gary, it's still very, very large, and I think it's getting very close to I-44.
Okay.
We're crossing its damage path right now, and everywhere we cross the damage path at, it drops everything. Power lines and everything go down.
Okay. We've seen a number of emergency vehicles. Val, this is a huge tornado.
It's large, Gary.
This is
very large.
This is bigger than Red Rock. I don't know if it's as strong, but it's bigger. A lot bigger.
Oh, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Looks like the whole updraft is on the ground.
Yeah, the whole thing's on a gigantic wedge-shaped tornado.
Man.
One of the more deadly ones you can find. Huge wedge-shaped tornado, and as of yet, not crossing Interstate 44, but it's just southwest of Oklahoma City and southwest of the west-southwest of Norman.
I've never seen a tornado this large before, and I've seen lots of tornadoes. This thing is huge. It looks like to me that it ought to be very near I-44 now.
Okay. How far are you from it, Val?
We're about 3/4 of a mile. It's due north of us. So the major circulation is still west of the interstate, but I think that people on the interstate are feeling it now for sure.
They got to be. We still see a huge tornado motion.
Gary?
Yes.
We are a half a mile south of the tornado. We're getting wind gusts of 60 right now.
You're 1/2 mile south.
Half a mile south of the tornado, we're getting wind gusts of 60.
From what direction?
I see a large piece of debris flying through the air about 200 yards to our north.
What direction are your winds?
West.
So you're getting some wraparound?
We're getting wraparound precip, definitely.
That looks like the entire thing. You got a surface-based mesocyclone.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. The whole thing's on the ground.
The whole thing's rotating. Val, so is it on I-44 yet?
Well, Gary, it's very close to I-44. I'd say within 1/4 of a mile or less.
Okay, that's
Within
about
1/4 mile
where
or
it
less.
looks almost skirting it. Almost skirting it.
Well, the direction it's going, it's going to be on I-44 for a while.
Yeah, it looks like it's going right down I-44.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's difficult to get off that thing. If anyone's on I-44 headed south right now toward Chickasha, I would turn around.
I just saw a power flash, big power flash.
As you look at this tornado from Ranger 9 Live, we have it right along Interstate 44, not too far from the toll booth, moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Tuttle would be on the north edge of the circulation, so mainly hail there. Newcastle, 704. Mustang should go to your south. Come in around southwest 70. Come in at 7:08 p.m. at southwest 134th. 709 crossing I-44, which is very close to now. Coming in at southwest 104th at 744. Boy, more area 722. Now, if it turns right, it will threaten. Okay, it has had baseball-sized hail with it as it's moved through. You're watching a long track, very rare event. These usually account for only about 2% of all tornadoes. They are deadly. You need to be below ground level to survive. Once again, for you children that are home, get a lot of pillows, a lot of blankets, and get in the bathtub, get in between the stool and the wall, pack those pillows and blankets, coats, whatever in there with you. If you don't have a cellar or a basement in the middle part of your house, go to a north wall or an east wall and get as many clothes and pillows and blankets around you. Get down on the floor and cover up your head and your face. Those of you in the way of the path of this storm, for example, in the Newcastle area and over toward Moore and maybe North Norman, if it turns right again, you have plenty of time to move to a place of safety. Markio, talk to me, Val.
Hey, Gary, we're heading north on I-44, and we're seeing at least one other tornado heading out of this, heading toward I-44 as well.
Okay.
A lot of cars pulled over to the side, but even more are racing toward the storm. So, kind of wish they could hear what you're saying.
Okay, we have a new tornado warning. We have a new tornado warning near Fort Cobb. Storm Action 6. Another tornado. Storm Action 6. Tornado on the ground. You folks in Fort Cobb take immediate tornado precautions. This storm moved. Yeah, put him on. Mark, I'm going to give it northeast at 30. Is that about right?
That's correct, Gary. It continues to move northeast.
Okay, you still on the ground?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we have 2 tornadoes on the ground at the moment. Just talk to me about it.
Gary, the tornado continues to move. It's very ragged, continues with multiple funnels around the main circulation, with quite a bit of debris rising at times from the ground up to the main funnel base itself. It's safe. Continue with it on the ground again. Multiple vortices on the ground. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6
Is it going to move into Fort Cobb?
We have 6 vortices on the ground at this time. It's about 1/4 mile wide, 1/8 to 1/4 mile wide. Continue with multiple vortices all the way on the ground. Continue with multiple vortices.
Is it going to move into Fort Cobb?
It's moving. Trying to figure out exactly where we are. We are due west, just to our northeast right now. and it's should be coming up on Highway. I believe it's
Okay, we got you located here.
62, just southwest of the Anadarko Y.
Okay, southwest Anadarko Way. So you're in the Fort Cobb area. We have the tornado moving toward Fort Cobb and Anadarko. So take your immediate tornado.
We have debris in the air.
In the Fort Cobb Anadarko area. Go back to that shot of that tornado. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Now as you folks watch this thing now, as you watch this, keep in mind. Oh,
Brady, we need to call Val back. We got disconnected.
hey, Minnie Christmas.
Okay, this Gary. Gary Horker on the get now.
Gary, talk to me.
Yes, we're heading right into the path of the thing on I-44, Gary. It's amazing. I mean, it's absolutely enormous, and we see a number of other tornadoes. I guess skirting on just one side of it.
All the tornadoes in the same general area, right?
It's all in the same general, heading towards the same general area, and we're seeing still a pretty heavy stream of traffic heading right toward it. So at pretty good speeds right now as we speak.
This is a long track tornado. You see all those lights to the south. We see all those lights to the south. Ranger 9, give us what location that town that is. It's moving into populated areas.
Gary, you there?
Yes.
Okay, Gary. Man, this thing is still just as large as it ever was. It's probably on I-44 right now. It's hard to tell. It might have went across it already, but...
Make sure I have that southwest shot also.
It's there. It's there.
On our map, we're starting to see areas of residential sections in its path now, more towards the northeast. I mean, it's starting to come into the outskirts of the metro area. There's residential sections off to the northeast of it, so, I mean, it's still large,
Okay,
it's
Val,
still on the ground.
Val, as we were talking, we flashed on a picture of the tornado near Fort Cobb. You folks in the Fort Cobb area, Anadarko area, Washita area, take your immediate tornado precautions. Very quick look at that. Tornado, deadly threat in the Washita area, Fort Cobb, Anadarko. Back to Ranger 9. You think the lights may be the toll booth? It may be just a little bit to the, just a little bit to the, I think that's very close to the toll booth, so y'all know where the toll booth is. It's just a matter of miles down the road from Newcastle. So this storm is moving directly toward Newcastle at this particular time. This is a long track, potentially deadly tornado.
Gary.
Yes.
We're back within about half to 3/4 of a mile of it now. It's directly north of us.
Yes.
I think it's on the interstate right now. And it's got violent rotation.
I don't ever recall anything exactly like this.
The way it looks. Uh-oh.
Val?
Yes.
Well, just go ahead and talk.
Okay, Gary, like I say, we're probably a half a mile directly south of it. It's massive rotation. It's probably just coming off the turnpike right now. I saw some big power flashes within the tornado earlier, just a while ago.
Okay, let's go to XL for just a brief second. Newcastle is large. The circulation is right in here at the toll booth. This is Interstate 44. It is moving right along the highway. The circulation is 6 miles across. The circulation is probably a half mile to mile across. So from along Interstate 44, where the toll booth is, to Newcastle, up into southwest 131st, southwest Oklahoma City, take your immediate tornado precautions. Go back to Ranger 9, long track, deadly tornado. Talk to me, Val.
Oh, man, this thing is probably, the south edge of the circulation is a half mile or less north of us, and that circulation is very, very strong. I don't think I've ever seen one that big before.
Mark Hill's reporting what?
Damage where? Around the Fort Cobb area.
Damage in the Fort Cobb area due to tornado. We still see, Val?
Yeah,
that's the toll booth. It's a little northwest of the it's still north. It's paralleling Interstate 44 is what it's doing. That's the toll booth right there in front of you on the right. It's paralleling. So let me tell you, live anywhere along I-44. Quick look of XL. You see the huge circulation coming up right up Interstate 40. Right up Interstate 40. Interstate 44. I mean, Interstate 44, there's a toll booth coming up southwest of Oklahoma City. Okay, now Mark, you can hear me. Mark, as you talk, we're going to have this huge tornado over here, but you're going to be talking about the Fort Cobb.
Okay, Gary, we continue with the large tornado on the ground out here. Also,
say again, Mark, say again.
It's the tornado just crossed Highway 9, just west of 183.
Okay.
It has done damage. It has damaged several houses that we have drove by. Numerous tree damage in this area also. Continue with the large funnel on the ground.
Okay, Mark, we appreciate your report. So tornado continues on the ground in the Fort Cobb, Anadarko area. Take your immediate tornado precautions. Now, the Fort Cobb storm, Anadarko, the Washita area, take your immediate tornado precaution, moving northeast at about 30. Damaging tornado there. This storm is getting ready to move in. This thing is extremely deadly. This is going to be it is serious. Going to get much more serious. It's a very extremely serious storm. The velocities are very high. It's a wedge shaped. It is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger.
Well, the whole updraft, it just looks like one huge cylinder all the way up to the top of the storm.
Okay, Val, we've got the tornado right now close to the access road at H.E. Bailey Turnpike, north side of Newcastle. We've got baseball-sized hail in Newcastle right now. Storm action, let's go to storm action 6. Quick storm action 6, another tornado. This is in the Fort Cobb, Anadarko area. Take your immediate tornado precautions. Ranger 9, we're watching a huge circulation. Ranger 9, here's the circulation, and it is huge. Newcastle covers a large area. Right in here is State Highway 37. Of course, this is I-44 right here. This is 134th. Right in here, northwest of 24th Street. So it's right back here is the the pike booth, and it's paralleling. It may turn to the right. If it does, Norman, you are not out of it yet. But Newcastle, from the toll pike booth to Newcastle, on to the north, this is extremely deadly. It's going to cover parts of Moore, South Oklahoma City. This is a classic circulation. It's a long-lasting tornado. Yes.
Gary, we can hear the tornado right now. It is roaring. We're close enough to hear it. There's debris. We're just about to get hit with debris. It's got to be on the turnpike now.
Who has that?
It's
Ranger 9.
There's all kinds of debris flying through the air. All kinds of debris.
Okay, Val, Ranger 9 reports the tornado is totally wrapped in rain, becoming HC.
Well, he's right. Probably real close to being right. We've got debris flying through the air all over the place here.
Okay. Norman Camp should be coming up with a shot here before long.
Debris? You see that stuff flying? Look up there above us. We got to go south.
You're hot, Val. Keep talking.
We got to go south. We're going to have to retreat, Gary.
Okay.
We're going to have to back up here. We've got large chunks of debris falling on us.
Okay.
Evidently, the circulation...
Say again, Val?
Evidently, the circulation is bigger than what we thought.
It is a huge circulation.
It's throwing debris well a mile around the tornado. In other words, a mile outside of the circulation, it's dropping big chunks of debris.
Now, the circulation here, we can see the moisture wrapping around. Let's go to XL very quickly. And we're going very quickly here. And this is a classic tornadic hook echo strong mesocyclone. It's becoming totally rain-wrapped. It is covering parts of I-44, moving into Newcastle.
I'm going to stop up here in this hill and let's shoot video, okay?
It's going to be moving into southwest Oklahoma City very shortly. This is very deadly. Go back to Ranger 9. The tornado is rain-wrapped. It's in the middle of the rain. So, I'll tell you folks, from Blanchard to southwest Oklahoma City, to the Del City area, Moore. Right now it may turn a little bit to the north of Norman, but right now it's moving northeast paralleling Interstate 44. This is a storm that you need to be below ground level. It is extremely dangerous.
This tornado is so large it will not fit in the screen of our camera.
Holy cow.
Yeah. We pulled back all the way and it's so large it won't fit in the screen, all of it.
The circulation valve we have, I'm guessing on the tornado is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'd say the mesocyclone is about 7 miles across. The center of the mesocyclone, let me get it right here, is right now is just a little west of the county line, the McLean County line. And there's northwest 6th Street in Newcastle. So parts of Newcastle, here's southwest 44th, here's I-44, here's Moore. Let me tell you folks, this is deadly, deadly serious. Take your tornado precautions. Do it now. Tornadic warning continues back southwest Oklahoma. This is in the Fort Cobb, Anadarko area. Well, that's fantastic. Great shot. Tornado warning continues. Anadarko area over Fort Cobb. Back to Ranger 9. Tornado is so large. Sirens are going off in Yukon. We'll have to wait and see on that. Bobby has a large wall cloud near Okarche. We're going to take a look there. Tell Bobby to send us a picture of that. And that should be visible from El Reno Cam. Okay? Okay. Is everyone grabbing those phones? Okay, yeah. Okay. Priority one, tornado warning for you folks in the Okarche area. Get Bobby on getting her. Priority one, tornado warning, Okarche area. There, get right there. Just put it in. Just erase that. Here's the only way here's what you did.
Ranger 9 says possible debris falling on the turnpike.
Does Bobby have a tornado where? You have a tornado on the ground in Okarche. Bobby, talk to me.
Okay, Gary, we are just west of Okarche. We have a very increasing tornado on the ground. It looks like starting to increase in size. It's about, I would say, 1 mile to our northeast right now, Gary.
Bobby, you have to repeat. I can hardly hear you in here. Talk to me again.
Okay, Gary, the tornado's starting to get bigger again. It's just west of
Gary,
Okarche.
Ranger 9 damage. This is northeast of the tornado.
Wait a minute. Bobby, talk to me. You have a tornado in Okarche?
It's just west of Okarche, Gary.
Moving toward Okarche. So you folks in Okarche take immediate tornado precautions. And what you're looking at is a gigantic damage path from Ranger 9 from this tornado that's moving into the metro area. This tornado is moving in the metro area right now, but keep in mind, tornado warning for the Okarche area. Tornado warning continues in Okarche. Bobby, you still have tornado in sight.
Okay, Gary. It looks like the tornado has just gone over a farmhouse. Looks like we have seen some debris. Again, the tornado's still on the ground west of Okarche.
Is it going to hit Okarche?
Looks like, Gary, the final cloud is moving north right now.
Okay.
It's just west of Okarche.
Okay. Okay, we're going to show you folks where Okarche is. It's just to our northwest here. The tornado's on the ground just west of Okarche. Take immediate tornado precautions in the Okarche area, okay? And once again, strong tornado continues. Huge damage path with this storm. It is moving right up into the metro area. And we have a tornado warning continuing back in the Chickasha Anadarko area.
That's correct.
Is it close to Anadarko?
5 miles north of Apache.
5 miles north of Apache, which would put it fairly close. Yeah.
Right here, yeah.
Yeah, okay, right in the Anadarko area. So tornado continues right in that area. It is very wide. Can Ranger 9 get up and give it a shot? And get Val on getting her too. I need to talk to him. He can tell what's going on. It's coming right up I-44, Newcastle. The damage path may be 1 to 2 miles across. Go ahead and talk to me, Val.
Gary, man, this thing is still on the ground, and I believe it's damaged path. I mean, I was getting at least a mile wide at one point. I mean, it still probably is about a mile wide now, or even larger.
So it's getting ready to move into, here's Southwest 104th. The north-south road right now is MacArthur Boulevard. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to it.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
This is Southwest 134th and MacArthur right in here. And the tornado is right in this area here. It's very large, moving across northern Newcastle with a very large damage path. Yes.
Mark Hill says tornado has lifted on this storm.
Tornado is lifted on the Anadarko storm, okay?
Yep.
This storm is going to move up southwestern Oklahoma City, the Moore area, Newcastle, parts of South Oklahoma City. For example, right in here would be Southwest 74th, and this would be Southeast 79, Southwest 79, so right in 104th. So this tornado is moving right up into densely populated areas. In fact, it's in it right now. We've seen some incredible damage path, maybe a mile wide, maybe longer. Check with Bobby on the tornado at Okarche. Do we still have tornado at Okarche? Bobby, can you talk to me?
Yes, Gary. We are on the north side of Okarche right now. We still see a funnel cloud about halfway to the ground. The tornado is not on the ground right now. We cannot see a debris cloud, but we do still see a very strong rotating funnel cloud more than halfway to the ground.
Okay, so it'd be a little to the north of Okarche.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Bobby. Alrighty, let's go to Ranger 9. There's a shot. Tornado damage path still looks like to be about a mile wide, moving across northern sections of Blanchard. It is moving toward West Moore and southwest Oklahoma City. It has left an incredible trail of damage. It continues to be a very intense, possibly deadly tornado. You need to be below ground shelter. Below ground shelter is what you need at this particular time. Yeah, I'm going to zoom in here and let's go back to XL. And I'll tell you, this is I-44 right here. I'm going to go in just a little bit closer. Okay. Southwest 144th. The circulation actually starts up in here, drops all the way down into Newcastle proper. So movement northeast. Looks like to me it's headed directly toward you folks and more. Right in here is South Pennsylvania Avenue. You see my cursor move just a little bit. This is Southwest 134th right there. This is South May. This is South Portland. This is South Meridian. This is MacArthur Boulevard. So this is a very significant tornado moving on off northeast, continues on the ground. I think Ranger 9 needs to slide a little to the left, little left, little left, little left, little left, little left. You can see the huge down. It looks like he does have debris. Looks like he's got a tornado. Yeah, he's got, no, there's a tornado on the right. The tornado's on the right. Right there's a tornado on the right. Southern edge. Val, someone find Val. His towers may be down. Okay, as you look at it, this tornado is moving through parts of Newcastle and southwest Oklahoma City. Now that would be close to circulating Southwest 149th, South Meridian Avenue, South Portland. It's moving over Northwest 24th Street in Newcastle. Newcastle area could be very hard hit with this particular storm. Has Val been able to get back up yet? We see a stovepipe tornado on the southern edge of it right now. Ranger 9 is about 9 southwest of the airport, looking, I would think, to the east now, east-northeast. So he's looking right at the apex of this circulation. Wow.
Gary, we're in Newcastle right now, and north of us, about, I can't tell, probably a mile or two, that thing is still on the ground, and it's still very large. There's lots of debris in the air right now, lots of debris.
Now we see a large stovepipe with a huge lowering off to the left.
Say it again, Gary.
We see a large stovepipe with a lowering off to the left, huge lowering to the left. Looks like the whole lowering to the left is coming to the ground again.
That's very possible, Gary.
So I see the northern edge of the circulation close to Southwest 134th, then extends right down into Newcastle.
Okay.
It's obviously moving through populated area.
Right.
It's approaching the river, getting ready to move into. Yeah, with the stovepipe, we're getting on. You see the power flashes, Val? Sirens are going off and more.
I guess I'll just follow everybody else.
Take your immediate tornado precautions. Now, I could do a storm projection, but the easiest thing to tell you, it's moving from Newcastle to Moore, and you don't have a lot of time. This is Moore. Here's Newcastle. It's getting ready to cross the river. It's moving northeast to the Moore area. Circulation goes all the way up in there, back to Ranger 9. And the circulation at times is just too large to keep up with. Tornado warning, Western Grady and Caddo. Still have a tornado 8 miles west-southwest. Okay, do a quick check on Storm Action 6. We have another tornado warning on Storm Action 6. And wow, where is he located? This tornado 8 miles west-southwest of Anadarko. You folks in Anadarko, take your immediate tornado precautions. Immediate tornado, ask him if he has it on the ground.
Gary, this is Mark.
Okay, it looks like it's lifting a little north of Anadarko. Is that right?
That's correct. It's just north of Anadarko now, just going north of the complex. It does not appear to be on the ground at this time.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, we're back to Ranger 9. This tornado is continuing to move northeastward and should be crossing the river here very shortly. This tornado has a well-defined circulation. There's been some decrease in intensity, but that doesn't mean anything with these particular storms. It is moving northeastward, still paralleling. Now, if it turns to the right, we may have some more problems with it in a larger area. But right now, it's moving. Val, talk to me.
Gary, it's still on the ground. It don't look like it's a mile wide anymore. It's a stovepipe. It's probably a half a mile to a quarter of a mile wide. It's still very, very strong. It looks like it's in the northeastern parts of Newcastle, very near the river.
Yeah.
Very near the river. Now, we're trying to figure out a way to get across the river.
Now, we see stovepipe on the right-hand side.
Right, that's it, exactly. I mean, it's still there. It's still strong as ever.
And then we see it's just a gigantic low. It looks like the damage path is still quite wide, Val.
Okay.
So we're looking at Ranger 9 live. And just a quick check on XL so you can see where we're looking, where this hook echo and this tornado is. It's moving through Newcastle into Moore. Take your immediate tornado precautions. Go back to Ranger 9. We have the large tornado on the right. Continue to move northeast at 35. For you children that are home alone, let me talk to you for just a second. If you have a cellar basement, that's best. But if you don't have that, get as many pillows and blankets as you can. Get in the bathtub. Get between the stool and the wall. And pack yourself in there and stay there till this thing blows over. This storm is moving northeast. We're broadcasting live also on KXY radio. This storm is now crossing, as most of it is crossing the Interstate 40, and we can see it's in Newcastle, getting ready to cross the river, crossing the South Canadian River near Southwest 149th Street at the present time. So it's crossing Southwest 149th Street in Southwest Oklahoma City, and that will just be part of it, okay? Right in here is 134th. Right in here is 149th. Yeah, go ahead, just a second. This is 149th, right in here. Right in here is 134th, and we can go back to Ranger 9. So I'll just talk to you about the locations. As you look at this huge tornado, it is crossing the river. Southern edge appears to be around 72nd Avenue Northwest, and then up toward West Indian Hills Road, Southwest 160th Street, Southwest 149th Street, Southwest 134th Street, and let's see, Kings Ridge Terrace, south of 104th, down to West Franklin Road. I tell you folks, it's moving out of Newcastle, it's moving into Moore, it's moving into South Oklahoma City. It continues with a wide damage path. It may have weakened a bit, but let me tell you, it's still an intense storm, could produce or is producing a large tornado as we speak. It is a long track tornado, potentially deadly. The wind speeds are quite strong with it, we fear. Whoa, another one. It's moving through populated areas. You folks in downtown Moore and West and East Moore, downtown Moore and East Moore have a little bit of time, a few minutes, to get below ground. This storm, mobile homes, pre-manufactured homes will not survive this. Many wood frames homes will not survive this particular storm. Yeah, Jerry.
He's 7 miles south, but Will Rogers looking northeast.
So he's 7 miles south. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looking northeast, so he's right there by it.
He's right on it.
He's right on it. So it's crossing the river, moving through parts of Westmore. I'll just name some streets. There's the Southwest Oklahoma City, Southwest 134th. And Val, if you have anything to say, let me know.
Gary, we're 1 mile south of Highway 37, and this thing is due east of us.
Tell me about it.
I'm trying to figure out what this road is we're on here.
Okay, I'm looking, tornado is approaching as we speak, South Pennsylvania, and 149th, Southwest Pennsylvania and 149th. And that's just, it is so large, you can hardly tell. Now, what are we looking at right here?
Go ahead,
So it's past the river. There's the river right there. Is that the river? That's the river. So he's looking northeast across the river. Tornado's moving on into Southwest Oklahoma City. Yes.
Gary, it looks like it's on 149th, Southwest 149th Street.
I agree.
It's due east of us. We're on 149th right now. It's probably a mile due east of us.
I see it about 149th Val and about Pennsylvania Avenue. That'd be what north-south street you on?
North-south street is Portland.
There's Penn.
Okay.
Portland, you're right. Yeah, you're right there. It's moving. The leading edge of it should be moving over South Penn.
Gary, it's a half a mile to the left, right in front of us. It's leveled a couple houses over here on 149th Street. It's just now probably a quarter of a mile north of 149th Street.
Okay.
And trying to figure out, it's probably very near May, north of 149th Street on May.
It's north of 149th Street on May. Val has a tornado. Val has a tornado 149th Street and May. Southwest 149th and May.
Just north of that location.
Here's South May Avenue. Val said just leveled some houses right in there. Continues so extremely wide. More power flashes. It's getting ready to move into a very densely populated area. Val, tornado warning continues. Northern Cleveland, northern McLean, and Oklahoma County.
Had major damage at 149th and May.
149th and May, major damage.
Major damage. And I'm sure that wherever it's at right now, just northeast of here, I mean, we can hear the tornado.
Val, just keep telling me what's going on right now.
Very loud roar with the tornado. It continues moving northeast. It's probably getting ready to approach Penn, I would think.
Okay. This storm is moving into West Moore as we speak. You should have already taken your tornado precautions in the Moore area, southwest Oklahoma City. We'll include also Del City, South Oklahoma City, And right here, this is Southeast 74th right here. This is Southeast 89th. This is Interstate 35 right here as we speak, right there. And north-south Interstate 35. The tornado is moving into Westmore as we speak. We continuing with the, let's go, Ranger 9. We can still see a huge damage path. This is as the storm. Val, can you hear me? This very wide damage path continues with this very large tornado moving through the Moore area. And all I can tell you, in Moore, let me give you the southern extent appears to be getting continual power hits. That's a tornado going through the power lines. Get below ground if you possibly can. Okay, the southern edge, West Indian Hills Road. The next road north of that is at Southwest 134th, Southwest 19th and Moore. From Southeast 29th, or just South 29th in Oklahoma City, from South 29th southward, take your tornado precautions. Quick check adopt 9000 XL. Right up in here is South 29th, all the way from South 29th southward, all the way down. We'll go all the way to Fleshman's Drive.
4th Street and I-35 debris.
4th Street and I-35 damage. Tornado is moving through more as we speak. So stay with us. This storm moves to the northeast. How's Ranger 9 doing on it?
Trying to reach position here.
Okay. Right, the circulation continues huge. This tornado is crossing Interstate 35 in the Moore area. So, oh boy. Okay. Quick check as we look. The damage path is so wide. Tornado is so wide. Let me tell you.
Tornado warning for Ranger 9 is 5 south of the airport.
Tornado warning for Alfalfa County in northwest Oklahoma. We'll come back to that in just a second. So you folks in Alfalfa County, get the details on that right there. Golf ball size hail north of Tinker. But let me tell you, anywhere, this is once again southeast. No, I need to look this very quick. Right in here is Del City, from Del City area, Tinker, Midwest City area south. Take your immediate tornado precaution. This thing is moving up this direction. I'll just run the arrow up here for you a ways. I won't run it the entire way because it's very broad, and this is not the exact speed. But right now, it's moving Del City, Tinker, Moore. Huge tornado, deadly tornado, back to Ranger 9. Very wide path tornado continues. It is so large we can barely see it. Okay, Amaretta, Manchester, quick check, adopt 9000 XL. 4 northeast, 4 east of Ingersoll. That storm is going to be moving northeast at 25. Tornado warning northeastern Alfalfa County.
Sirens going off in Nichols Hills.
Sirens are going off in Nichols Hills now. Right now, the main threat appears to be with this tornado from Del City down to Moore. It's moving across Interstate 35 in Moore as we speak. Let's see, is Ranger 9 repositioning at all? Okay, now keep in mind, I understand that the sirens are going off up in Nichols Hills. That's way up in this area. So that's on the south, that's on the north edge of the storm. So right now the main threat appears to be with this area right here. This tornado is going through Moore, southwest Oklahoma City. There'll be damaging winds moving along, it won't be too long. Could move very well along. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to delete all those. And what I'll do is I'm going to back off just a second. We have active tornado warnings. Do we have an active tornado warning on this storm here? We have one active in northern sections of the state. And the main one's in the metro here. And we still have tornado warning on the one southwest of Tuttle. We still have a tornado warning on the one southwest of Tuttle.
Scott Willis is on the Gettner, one of our storm trackers.
Where's he located?
South of Tinker.
Okay, put Scott on there. Is Scott on there? Now I'm gonna do it. As we're watching this, I'm gonna put you a storm track on here. It is in Moore right now, moving northeast at about 30, speed 30. Ranger 9, go to Ranger 9. Talk to me, Scott.
Gary, this is Scott Willis. We're at I-240 and Sooner Road looking for a west-southwest. There's a large tornado on the ground.
Large tornado on the ground. Give me your location again.
At I-240 and Sooner Road looking to the west-southwest. That probably looks like 2 to 3 miles away, and it is moving east-northeast. We're in the clear area. There's no precipitation occurring right now where we're at.
Okay, yes, go to XL, and I'm going to show him exactly where you are. He's right in here, folks. He's looking to the southwest. How large would you estimate the tornado cross?
What would you estimate that? About a quarter of a mile right now?
This was a neighbor.
Yeah, we need to move, Gary. It's coming right at us.
Ranger 9, Ranger 9, Ranger 9.
Is this 119th Street?
Get east, get east. East.
You guys go east. Go east. It's coming directly toward you.
Coming towards us.
It's going directly
looks like
toward you,
it's about
northeast of
4 mile
25.
wide.
Get the heck out of there.
Gary,
What?
looks like it's increasing in width right now. Looks like it's increasing in width.
We got it. It's moving south, northeast at about 25. This is This is southeast 82nd right here. This is southeast 74th.
On 240 East. Quick.
Are you moving east now?
Yeah, we're getting east. We're going east, Gary. I can still see it. It looks like it is increasing in width as we travel to the east on 240, and the winds are increasing out of the east.
Okay, well, it's moving across more right now. And you can see the damage path right across.
God.
Take Ranger 9 right across that damage path. We're looking.
Gary, large, that's huge.
You folks, Tinker area, extreme down south Del City, anywhere along 240, I-44, all the way over to southeast 44th, south of 29th. Well, boy, I tell you, over here, we better go in southeastern Oklahoma County, all the way from Reno south. From Reno south, take immediate tornado precautions. Scott, whoa, whoa. You see those, Scott? This is absolutely incredible. Okay, this is the damage path across parts, I don't know what it's more. This tornado is continuing to move. The damage is absolutely incredible. And Ranger 9 is following the damage path into the far distance. If you look on television, you'll see a huge tornado, power line flashes. Okay, you folks that live along South Airdie, I'm going to give you some north-south roads. Okay, Sunny Lane Road, Woodhue, South Air Depot, South Midwest. Get him back on the phone.
Scott?
Yes, Scott. Southeast 74th. This is north-south of South Douglas.
9988,
South Post Road. Anywhere from Reno Street south all the way down to Draper Lake. I tell you, this is deadly serious. We've been talking about it for an hour or two now. The damage is massive. The damage is massive. 119th and Western, Southwestern, completely leveled. Scott, talk to me.
Hey, this is Hank Brown.
Hank, talk to me.
I am on I-240 eastbound at about Douglas, looking out our rearview mirror, west-southwest. Large tornado. Large tornado still on the ground.
Okay.
It looks like it's over the Moore area.
Okay. Just give me again your. I'm showing the folks' location on XL. Tell me very quickly about the tornado.
I-240 eastbound. We are just now passing the Douglas exit.
Okay, this is Douglas right here. Okay, back to Ranger 9. Back to Ranger 9. Huge tornado in the Moore area. Damage is severe. Get below ground. You folks in the path of this storm, get below ground immediately. If you live as far east as...
Hey, Gary.
If you live, yes.
I'm going to hand you to Scott so I can drive.
Okay. If you live as far east as Midwest Boulevard, you still have time to take shelter. I tell you, folks, the damage is incredible.
Gary.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Are you there? It looks like it's coming across 240 now.
Say again?
It looks like it's coming across I-240 in Douglas.
I-240 and what?
It's west. Where's it at?
It's coming across I-240 in
Yeah, it
Douglas
looks like
in the
it's
south of
crossing
Oklahoma City.
I-240.
There, I see it. I see it. It's lifting north-northeast. You folks in Del City, Tinker area, Midwest City, it's lifting north-northeast. Take your immediate tornado precautions right now. Right. We also have, give me that.
Developing tornado near Lake Chickasha.
We have near Lake Chickasha, you guys. Near Lake Chickasha, we have a developing tornado, multiple vortex. Do we have anybody on that?
Gary.
Yeah, talk to me.
Okay, it's right now, it looks like it's right over I-240. And it looks like it's moving to the east-northeast currently.
I-240, we have it lifting almost north-northeast.
North-northeast, that looks about right, Gary. That looks right.
It looks like it's coming right up into the Del City, southern Del City, Tinker area. It looks like it may well make Midwest City. And it's going to make it up into Reno Avenue, possibly. It's going to cross. Right. It looks like it's going to cross 240, cross 44. It's going to make it up into 15th Street, possibly as far north as Choctaw. The damage from this thing is incredible. We've got this saved here. As you look at this.
Wow, look at that. Look at its rising motion.
Okay, can you see the tornado? You have the tornado in sight?
I've got the tornado in sight, Gary.
Okay, quick check to XL. Okay, Midwest City, City Hall and Carl Albert. It's Midwest City Hall. This has a developing tornado, multiple vortex tornado. Southwest of Minko, southwest of Union City. Take your immediate tornado precautions. Developing multiple vortex tornado in that particular area.
Matt Petering.
Is he on the phone?
Yes.
Matt, talk to me.
Gary, I am at Southeast 27th and I-35. I have cars flattened. It's gone across I-35 here. There is extreme damage. People were hiding underneath the bridge. Their cars are flattened. Just to the east of me, I have what looks like a mobile home park or an apartment complex that is totally destroyed.
Okay.
They need a lot of help out here, Gary.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're back. Ranger 9 still got it? Ranger 9, we continue with a long track tornado on the ground. What's happened to me here? Are we rebooting? Okay, thank you. Large, long track tornado continues. It is moving Del City, Tinker, Draper Lake. It looks like it may move right over Tinker Air Force Base. East-west road. It's going to move. Man, I want to back off. Power flash, she's still on the ground. Okay, we have new storms intensifying south of Norman and Noble. Now, south of Noble are going to have to be watched very carefully. Yeah, south of Noble. Down toward the Purcell area. Storms are intensifying in that area. Make sure we got someone on those particular storms. I'm going to track edit on this one. And let's go up here. Let's do Ranger 9, or let's do XL. Let's go to XL. It's in the Del City area, Draper Lake. It's passing through Moore, Eastern Moore, Tinker, Midwest City, Spencer, Reno Street, East Reno Street, Choctaw 758, Jones, hopefully a little, go ahead and take, 802 at Jones, Hera 808, McLeod, if it turns right, 811, Luther 818. Okay.
Listen to me right now.
Okay, you got what?
I am at Southeast 27th and I-35. It's come through bad. There are cars destroyed. There are a lot of people damaged. A lot of blood has been sprayed out here. I'm out here with my medic kit trying to give some help.
Okay.
They can't get medics through here. There's,
Southeast,
I would guess, 30 cars that are destroyed.
Southeast 27th and I-35.
Yeah.
Injuries, possible fatalities.
Injuries, I would say possible fatalities are a great possibility right now.
Okay. Keep us in touch. We appreciate your report. Just slow down just a touch.
Thank you, Gary.
Okay.
Priority 1, tornado on the ground.
Say again.
Priority 1, tornado on the ground, Gary.
Where are you located?
Okay, Gary, I'm located just east of Gracemont. I'm about 5 miles southeast of Spring Creek.
You're east of Gracemont? East of Gracemont, tornado on the ground.
Okay, Gary, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. We've got multiple vortices on the ground.
Is it close to any structures?
No, it isn't. We're southeast of Spring Creek. Coger at this point, about 5 miles south of Coger.
Okay, we say there's a tornado. I understand there's a multiple vortex tornado.
That is true, Gary. We have a multiple vortex tornado.
Okay, we have a tornado warning. Do we have this
Rapid
tornado warning
rotation.
on? Rapid rotation. We're going to look at this storm. This one should be moving to the northeast. I'm going to add this northeast at about 35. Okay, we're going to move this at about 30. Okay.
Tornado on the ground northeast of Gracemont, 12 northeast of Gracemont.
12 northeast of Gracemont.
Mike is on the Gettner and he's on the Gracemont storm.
Okay, talk to me.
Gary?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Mike. Okay, we're getting right top of the hill right now. We've had a multiple vortex tornado on the ground. Yep, we do have strong rotation. Gary, it's really, really strong rotation.
Okay, got it.
Now, this could become a wedge tornado at any moment.
We have a multiple vortex tornado.
Yep.
We have another spot in that area reporting it's southwest of Minco. From Coger to Minco, Pocasset, Tuttle, Union City, Mustang. Take your immediate tornado precautions. Another tornado on the ground. Can you confirm it's still on the ground, guys? Mark Hill, you on the Gettner?
Gary.
Mark, talk to me.
Gary, the tornado is located approximately 8 miles southwest of Minco. It is a large cone-shaped tornado at this time. Started out from multiple vortices, approximately half-mile circulation. Continue with appears to be a wedge on the ground at this time.
Okay.
We are located 4 miles north of Dutton on the Grady-Caddo County line. The tornado is approximately 2.5 miles northwest of us.
You folks in Minco, you are in imminent danger. From just south of Coger to Minco, a large wedge-shaped tornado on the ground. It will be moving toward Minco, Union City, Tuttle, Mustang at 825. So we have that particular tornado on the ground. This is a very deadly situation throughout central Oklahoma, also up into Alpha County near Alene. Take your immediate tornado precautions throughout central. Marty, tell me where you are and what you have.
Gary, I'm going to be 12 miles east of Gracemont. The tornado will be another 3 miles back to the north. It's gotten very wide base.
Tell me, is it on the ground? What direction
Yes,
is it moving?
It is on the ground. Appears to be moving almost due north. I'm starting to lose a picture on it. We had some real good pictures earlier.
Any close to any structures at all?
Around a quarter mile wide.
Okay, thank you. Let's go back to the storm. It's moving through parts of Dell City, Tinker area, and we'll move on over Ranger. Go to Ranger 9. Large track, huge tornado continues. This tornado continues on the ground. It has produced considerable damage. We know there's injuries, possibly worse. Here's Tinker Air Force Base. Let's take it Midwest City, Dell City area, Tinker, Draper. This is 240 right in here. This is I-44 right in here. I'm sorry, this is I-40 right in here. This is 240. This is I-40 to the east. If you're driving east on Interstate 40 in Oklahoma County, southeast Oklahoma County, turn around and go the other way. So tornado warning. It looks like it's right over Tinker. It's moving right up over South Post Road. It is moving right over southeast. Soon it'll be 44th Street. Okay, give me Scott Willis.
He's on the tornado.
Scott on Gettner. Talk to me.
All right, Gary?
Yes.
It's Scott. We're at I-240 and Air Depot Road at the GM plant looking off to our northwest. There's a large tornado on the ground. We're seeing power flashes inside the tornado itself.
Okay, Scott, give me your location and the direction you're looking in and approximate distance to the tornado.
I-240 at Air Depot Road, right at the GM plant. It's out to our northwest, probably by 1 to 2, maybe 3 miles away. We're seeing power flashes inside the tornado right now, Gary.
Okay, we're still getting a northeast movement.
Yeah,
So
it looks like it's moving northeast.
it looks like it's going to be going right up South Douglas Boulevard. Do you agree with that somewhat?
Yes.
And then over toward North Post Road.
It's west of Douglas Boulevard right now, Gary.
Okay, North Westminster. Quick check, Dr. 9000 XL. So we show we're looking at here's Spencer. So from Spencer down to Midwest City, Dell City, Tinker. Here is 240, and this is 40 right here. So if you're driving, you're coming into southeastern Oklahoma County, keep in mind a huge tornado continues on the ground. Also, we have a tornado 4 miles northwest of Pocasset moving northeast at 20. But we have one huge tornado in the metro area at the present time. And we back off just a little bit here. That's the one to the west. Is a multiple vortex tornado moving toward Minco, Union City, Tuttle. You folks in this area, you are in immediate danger. So from southwest of Minco to Union City, this tornado could arrive in Minco at 8, Union City at 8:05, Tuttle 8:11, and could conceivably later reach the Mustang area at 8:25. And it's a multiple vortex wedge tornado on the ground moving toward the metro. We have another large one in the metro. It's still extremely strong.
Sirens going off in Mustang.
Sirens are now going off in Mustang as that next storm approaches in. We have the tornado warning near Aleen, one just to the southwest of Union City and southwest of Minco, and the one right here in Oklahoma County. Here's a projection, yes. Let's take one. We're looking at the projection again. Spencer, you should be on the edge of it. This is East Reno. This is Wood Street, East Wood Street, Choctaw, Midwest City, Dell City, Tinker, Jones, Hara. If it turns, it'll be McLeod. Let me just go in real close for you one more time. And it is moving right over Tinker Air Force Base.
Gary?
Yes.
Gary, be advised, it's really wrapped in rain right now, so it's going to be hard for people to see.
Okay. Are you seeing any more power line flashes?
Not anymore. Not at the current time, Gary.
Okay. Let's quickly go to Viper. And we have several circulations with this gigantic tornado in Oklahoma County now. And
is that a new lowering developing right there?
And it continues, several circulations around. And here's the one southwest of Tuttle, southwest of Mustang. There's also one up near the Aleen area. And let's see here. And let me pan this over here and we'll take a quick look up that way.
Civil Defense is calling in all staff in the metro area.
Okay, Civil Defense calling in all staff in the metro area. This is a major storm action 3, tornado in Minco, tornado in Minco. Good God. You folks, I want to know, get him on Gettner. This storm is approaching Minco. Mark, talk to me. And there's several around. We have 2 major ones on the ground that we know of at the moment. And it is very close, if not in Minco, very close to Minco. You're looking at a multiple vortex wedge tornado. Mark, talk to me.
Okay, I can hear you now. We are still on the county line. The tornado's tracking almost due north. It's about a mile west of the county line, coming up on Kogar, as we speak, maybe a little bit east of there.
Okay, we would have the tornado southeast of Kogar, just west of Minco.
That's correct.
be moving toward the Minco or Union City area.
That's correct.
Mark, appreciate the report. There's a wedge-shaped tornado on the ground southwest of Minco, Union City. What I can tell you folks here in central Oklahoma, just take your tornado precautions. Also up in Alfalfa County near Alene and also over toward Manchester and northern Oklahoma, take your tornado precautions. We know we have 2 large tornadoes on the ground at this particular time. And let's see, what does Ranger 9 have?
Ranger 9.
Okay, what we'll do is go over and take another look at the circulation on this storm. And as we look at XL, here's a projection on the one, and as you look at it, I will do a track edit. It's moved up over, looks like it's moved up over 40, and this is West Reno. It's moving directly toward Choctaw. It's going across Tinker, maybe a little bit of Del City, Midwest City area. It continues very, very deadly. Do we see any others? Someone needs to help Ranger 9 on where they're looking. But we still have very strong circulation. So as you look at XL, I'll move in very quickly. So at the moment, southeast, if you take the extreme western sections, take the western sections. Okay, Ranger 9. If we go to Ranger 9, they're on Reno downtown, looking due east. And way we can tell if there's any. He still sees circulation on the ground. We're not seeing any big power line flashes at the moment. So we have one tornado moving the Midwest City, Tinker area, Choctaw, Hera. So right now to the west of 35 is okay. To the east, it is still extremely dangerous. East of 35, and south of I-44 is very dangerous. Large tornadic circulation continues. Do you have Mark?
Yes.
Mark, talk to me. You have to talk loudly. I can hear you. You probably can't hear me.
Gary, this is Matt. I am at I-35 and Southeast 27. At this time, people are driving this way, and we're having extreme congestion.
What do you see as far as damage?
At least 50 casualties, no fatalities that I can confirm at this point.
Yeah,
Gary.
Yes.
A separate tornado. The first tornado we were following has lifted.
Okay.
We have another large tornado to our southwest. We are at 152 and the Grady Canadian County line, Grady and Caddo County line, and have a large tornado near Minco at this time.
Okay, large tornado near Minco. This is another one. So Union City, Minco area, take your immediate tornado precautions. Also Tuttle, Mustang, South El Reno, and Yukon. Take immediate tornado precautions. Large tornado on the ground. We still have a tornado over the Midwest City area, moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Choctaw, of course, Del City, Harrod, Jones, Luther, Midwest City, Nakoma Park, Spencer. Stay alert. This thing is lifted. Okay, can we look at X? I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Right in here, you can see it's coming right up over Reno Avenue. And let me give you a north-south road. Here's the north-south right in here. That was northeast 46. The north-south is Hiawassee right here. Let's see. And north-south right in here is Northwest Minister. So here's Tinker. Here's East Reno Avenue. This is over to Choctaw. And right now, the main threat appears to be this is in Oklahoma County, a little bit to the north of 40, and to the east of 35, and to the south of I-44. Continue tornado warning. We still seeing more power line flashes with this storm?
I have not seen power line flashes recently.
Okay. Can someone zoom?
No, it's not. It's on the bank.
Okay, we have tornado warning still continues up near Alene. We still have very strong circulation in Oklahoma County, and we have a tornado just to the southwest of the Minco area. So from Minco, Tuttle, Union City, take your immediate tornado precautions. Who do we have in Gettner?
Hello.
Talk to me. Whoever's on Gettner, talk to me. Tell me where you are and what you see.
Gary,
Yes.
anybody?
Bobby.
It's Mark. Anybody hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Speak loudly.
We have a large tornado on the ground crossing 152 right now.
Crossing 152 to the...
it's just west of Minco, just west of Minco.
Just west of Minco. Mark, can you tell if they're going to go between Union City?
It looks like I said it right
passing 152 toward Union City. It's just west of Minco. Mark, am I correct? It's just west of Minco, moving northeast.
Moving north-northeast.
Moving north-northeast toward Union City. Can anyone hear me on Gettner?
Gary, that's me.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Continue with the large tornado just northwest of Minco. It's now to the north of 152.
Okay. It's just northwest of Minco now, moving toward Union City. You folks in Union City, take your immediate tornado precautions. Tornadic thunderstorm continues in Oklahoma County. The threat is north of 40. It is east of Interstate 35. It is south of I-44. I'm going to zoom in. The damage has been incredible. We know there's been injuries. The circulation is moving north-northeast right into the Choctaw area, Jones area. So if you're listening to us on KXY radio, traveling Interstate 40, the main threat on Interstate 40 in Oklahoma County is, at the moment, in eastern Oklahoma County, is north of Interstate 40, east of 35, and south of 44. It runs from Spencer to Midwest City, to north of Tinker, and it runs on over to Choctaw, East Reno. It's going to pass over there. It's going to pass over 10th Street, and it's conceivably going to pass over 36th Street and over 50th Street, 50th Street. So it's going to go from the Tinker area right up over Choctaw, parts of Jones, and parts of the Hera area. And we'll go back to Viper, a quick check on Viper. And we are showing a circulation on the storm. Let me rotate this around a little bit. The one near Purcell is beginning to show some shear. We're continuing to show a tornado in the Midwest City, Choctaw area. And
Hello?
Go ahead, Marty.
Okay, I'm not to Minco yet, but the tornado is on the ground. It appears to be north of Minco, about 2 to 3 miles, probably around 300 yards wide.
So we have a tornado about 3 miles north of Minco, or let's call it northwest of Minco, about 300 yards wide. Moving
Yes, that's right, Gary.
very close to Union City.
Yes, moving towards Union City.
All righty.
I'm getting closer to it right now. When I get to Minco, I'll be able to give you a better direction.
Okay. Just tell me again your location.
Okay, I'm just going to be west of Minco. I'm about 5 miles. And the tornado I can see moving from our right to our left, going north of Minco.
Okay. So still about the same size?
I've lost sight of it temporarily. I've got a lot of other people on the road.
Okay. So we continue with the tornado warning from just north of Minco into Union City. Tornado apparently is still on the ground. I think eventually we're going to be able to pick that one up down here just a little bit. And I would think, has El Reno Cam come back up yet, or power's out on it? Power's out on El Reno Cam. Norman Cam may soon have the one right over here near Union City, Minco. So let's go back here. We'll look at the tornadic thunderstorm continues. That'll need to go to the right. Tornadic thunderstorm continues in Oklahoma County, and I'm going to do a storm edit on this storm as we look at XL for you. It looks like the bottom of the circulation is moved a little bit to the north-northeast. Okay, here we go. So it's in the Choctaw area. It's over West Reno, Jones, Hera. It could make Wellston. So if it moves to the northeast, and
southwest.
What are we looking at right here?
Going southwest. That's just scud.
Okay, it's good right now. I'm going to save this view so we'll have it. So tornado warning continues for eastern Oklahoma, Jones, Spencer, Choctaw, Hera area, possibly as far north as Brownie 1. Okay, we have also, what do you got? Give it to me.
Okay, Gary, we're moving back east now on I-40. We need to get back east of this.
Okay, just stay with us. Just stay with us on the phone.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay. Okay, we've read reports of a tornado touching down with damage in El Reno.
Yes, sir.
And here's El Reno. We still see shear on the storm in the El Reno area. And moved, he said, about 40 to 50 miles an hour, he thought, across the highway, right into El Reno, very quickly, very suddenly, rapidly intensifying storm. So priority 1, tornado warning, El Reno. That's going to be also moving to the northeast. So keep that in mind. And what we'll do, as you look at these storms, we have a tornado warning on this storm right here. And that's the one in the El Reno area. Okay? Now I'm going to move a little bit to the north. Now we don't know how major the damage has been, and we have a tornadic circulation. Folks in the Hennessy area, this is also a tornadic circulation. What do we got? Where's that here, major damage? Major damage west of Dover. That was a little bit earlier. This is the storm that's near Hennessy. This is going to be moving up toward Bison and Marshall. So another tornado on the ground southeast of Hennessy. So from southeast to Hennessy over to, boy, if I ever get this right, Lavelle, okay. And Marshall, moving northeast. So tornado warning up into Garfield County, We have a very significant tornado approaching the Mulhall area also. Hey, Bobby?
Okay, Gary, we are in Dover right now, and we have significant major damage. We've got power lines down. It looks like homes have been destroyed. It looks like trees have been leveled or sheared off probably about halfway. It looks like it's pretty wide.
Yeah. Bobby, you see emergency vehicles they've been able to get there?
Yes, Gary. We have fire crews on the scene right now going from, looks like, house to house.
Okay. As we looked at Dover, we see that storm, that particular one's moved up near Hennessy. We just had a tornado move through El Reno. It's going to be moving rapidly to the northeast across Highway 3. And, right now it looks like it might pass west of Piedmont.
Power flashing
back west.
We see power flashes. We see power flashes in El Reno. Tornado is apparently still on the ground in the El Reno area or just north of El Reno. So we're looking at El Reno Camp, looking north, Country Club Drive, looking north, Interstate 40. And so this is a very rapidly intensifying storm. We see wind velocities inside the thunderstorm beginning to increase.
Behind me.
Was that Mike on there earlier with that? Can you give me? He was trying to get out of the way of it. It's moving rapidly to the northeast. So once again, Piedmont, North El Reno, Richland, all those areas stay alert. We're still seeing occasional power line flashes. Mike, can you talk to me?
Yeah, Gary. Okay, we're on Business 40. We're now moving back up through El Reno. We're still on the south side of it. We do not see any tornadoes on the ground at this point. Where did you see power flashes within the city?
Okay, do you see any damage?
No, I haven't seen any damage at this point. If there's going to be damage, it's going to be to our west.
Okay, you said cut across the road right in front of you.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Very, very quickly. You will not have time to get out of the way, so people need to be in there.
We just saw another power line flash. Yeah, tornado is now reported southeast Tennessee. We just showed you that. You folks in Mulhall, this is a tornado that's moving in your way. Tornado is moving in your way to Mulhall. So Mulhall area, take immediate tornado precautions. That could move toward Lake Carl Blackwell. Lake Carl Blackwell. And let me see, that thing is a major circulation. So Western Payne County. Whoa, look at this, look at this, look at that. Look at on the velocities, look at that thing. That's in the Mulhall area. Gary Horker, Val Castor, is anybody on that storm? It's lifted rapidly to the northeast along Highway 74. Now, if you're traveling Interstate 35, north of Guthrie, stop. If you're coming south on Interstate 35, northern Oklahoma, stop. These are tornadic thunderstorms, and you don't want to be caught in your car. So Mulhall area, Orlando area, this is the tornadic circulation right here with extremely strong winds. So it's moving up toward Mulhall and Orlando at the present time. And let me back off again, see where the next one is. We've been watching this storm over to our east. It's moved northeast of Sparks. The circulation is right in here. The circulation north of El Reno is becoming extremely violent, extremely wrapped up. See it about 1 to 2 miles north of El Reno, moving northeast. It'll be crossing Highway 3 about 6 miles west-northwest of Piedmont. Can you talk to me now, Mark? You guys are blowing my eardrums out. Make sure you've got some sound on there, okay? And we're going to go, we covered the tornado in Canadian County. Most likely, do we have Mike on there? Does he still have that tornado?
Mike,
can you talk to me?
Yeah, Gary, we've had a couple of trees down now in El Reno. We're moving north on 81 now. Lots of emergency vehicles, so anywhere north of, looks like El Reno now. Looks like El Reno may be in the clear at this point, actually.
Yeah, it's moving a little north of El Reno. It's really wrapped up. Probably has a tornado on the ground right now, the way it looks to me.
Okay.
The Mulhall storm, it looks extremely dangerous. Mulhall moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Probably doing damage as we speak. That's not 74 over there. What highway is that? That is is that 77? Along Highway 77. So Mulhall to Orlando, Highway 7. This thing is paralleling Interstate 35. So if you're driving Interstate 35 north from Oklahoma City, I-35 to the south, out of northern Oklahoma to the south, stop, find shelter. These are damaging tornadoes. And another tornado warning, Canadian County. Okay, that's on the one. That's a tornado that slipped through El Reno just a few minutes ago. It was moving northeast at 70 miles an hour. Okay, in the Orlando Mulhall area, tornado warning continues there. I'm going to drop down to the southwest. The Mulhall storm looks extremely dangerous, and also still southeast of Shawnee looks pretty scary. The southeast of Hennessy. And let me move my velocities over here. You can't see the velocities at home, but I'm looking at them here. The Davenport storm, there's still a mesocyclone, Davenport Sparks area. This storm is not as well organized as it was, but still watch out for the possibility of a tornado. Stroud, Davenport Sparks, Meeker, Prague area. And I'm just going to have to keep rotating around through here. Let me know when you got somebody on the phone there. The mesocyclone moving toward Marshall. Could be producing a damaging tornado at any time. Boy, the storm in the Mulhall area should be producing significant.
Gary, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, heading north on I-35, just about everybody in Guthrie who's been on the road that we can see is right under taking shelter underneath the overpasses. I guess we need a little advice as to how quickly to proceed north on I-35 here, because every time we look, it's just like we're driving into blackness, like the clouds just reaching the ground.
Okay, while you're talking, Midwest Regional Hospital, is it all or staff? All or staff to report to the hospital immediately. So things not good. Okay, what do we got? Damage in El Reno, Redlands Community College. That storm was moving at about 70 miles now. I got to tell you, the storm in, where is this? Mulhall. There's reporting tornado 3 miles wide, not out of the question. Gary Horker, you on that storm?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 miles wide, it would not be out of the question, because what we're looking at, I can see the far western edge. Lightning is kind of illuminating the far western edge, and it's just it's going east as far as the eye can see. Heading north on I-35, there is absolutely no traffic. So people obviously are listening, paying attention. People seeking shelter at the overpasses.
Well, let me ask you this, Gary. Give me your exact location again.
We're north of Guthrie, sir. We're
how many miles?
I don't know, a couple miles north of Guthrie on highway I-35.
Okay, you can go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can go 10 miles north now of Guthrie.
All right.
And I tell you, this storm is moving toward Orlando. It's over Mulhall. Should be doing extreme damage as we speak. It is huge. Orlando area, it could move over toward Lake Carl Blackwell. The circulation, the velocities, the wind speeds on Doppler are extreme as we speak. Also, I'm going to back off and show you these other storms, and there may be more occurring at any time, so just hang with us. There's a lot of folks that are at risk. Just a second here. Well, I've got a circulation, looks like to me, southwest of Barr, not too strong. Now, you folks at the Barr, here's Drummond, the Barr area. We're picking up circulation. Priority 1. Go to me, Mike.
Priority 1. Gary, this is Mike. We've got a tornado on the ground, large tornado, 5 miles north-northwest of El Reno at this point.
Okay, I see roughly where you're located. Large tornado on the ground.
Marty Logan's right here looking toward it. He's on the
Okay, let's go to Marty Logan. Thanks, Mike. Marty?
Southeast of Okarche on Highway 3. I can see the tornado. It is probably nearing Highway 3 at this time.
What, can you give me a size on it, Marty?
I'm going to say I'm probably about 5 miles from it. I'm going to say we're probably in the 200 to 300 yard range.
Okay.
I'm quite a ways from it. In fact, right now, it's real tough to sit in this lightning.
Okay. Just hang in there with us, Marty.
Okay, all I see now is a lowering. I do not see the tornado on the ground right now.
Okay.
Okay, I can see traffic going down Highway 3, and the lowering is over the highway right now.
Now, if you're traveling Highway 3 in the Piedmont area, I'd certainly get off of that sucker and find some shelter if you listen to this on KXY radio, because you don't belong out in this storm activity. So you folks that are listening on KXY 96.1, there's a tornado getting ready to pass up over Highway 3 just to the west of Piedmont. Last report, do we still have Mike on there? He could see a large tornado on the ground. You guys stay with us. Garfield County, about 13 miles southwest of Drummond. I think we were just talking about that storm.
Tornado on the ground. Tornado on the ground.
Okay, Mike, talk to me. Mike.
Tornado on the ground right now, Gary. It's getting ready to cross over Highway 3. We're looking due east.
Give me a size of tornado.
And the size of the tornado, it's not a wedge, Gary. It looks approximately kind of like the Watauga tornado. Does that do?
Yeah, that'll do fine. You did great.
Okay.
Okay, we have another tornado warning. This is the one we were talking about just moments ago on this line up here. This is southwest of Barr, southwest of Drummond. It is not extremely strong, but there is a tornado developing with it. And this one is going to be moving toward Barr and Drummond and Vance and Enid. So, and there's also a very strong circulation, strong tornado indicated east of Hennessy, right in this area, southwest of Marshall. So tornado warnings for Garfield County. Tornado warnings for Garfield County, over into northern Logan County, and also back here southwest of Bar. So this storm will be moving up into Garfield County, northeast at 30, okay.
Gary, this is Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, talk to me, Mike.
Yeah, still tornado on the ground, Gary. Still moving north.
Oh, is it on Highway 3 or past it?
That's about approximately on, it's just south of Highway 3, about 5 miles east of Highway 81 at this point.
Okay.
Okay?
All righty. I'm going to keep talking to me because
It's starting to rope out, Gary.
Okay. And you're looking at the storm down. We're going to get down in just a second. You're looking at a tornado that went through El Reno. And it still has, whoa, it's still got a great circulation with it, Mike.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's right over the highway just west of
we've had a
Piedmont.
tornado on the ground for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Gary, it's roped out and it's lifted now.
Okay, look for it to pulse. I'd look for it to pulse is
I
what
sure
I'd
will.
do.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
It has high-speed velocities on Doppler wind speeds. Also, we're showing high speeds developing.
Yeah.
And let me go back up here, look at this other storm. We see high-speed winds developing in the bar storm south of Drummond. Could be advanced at 10:45.
Really
it is not big yet, but it is continuing to intensify. Could reach Enid at 10:53. That's this particular little tornadic thunderstorm starting right down here. And 11:03 in Fairmont. And so keep in mind, Vance at 10:45, Enid 10:53. This storm is extremely intense. Marshall could suffer significant damage with this. The tornado did hit Redlands Community College in El Reno. The storm that's near Marshall right here is extremely intense, moving to the northeast. And let me see if I can get you a storm projection on there. And it looks like northeast about 30 on this too. I'm going to move it about like
Gary.
that. Okay. We're looking at the storm, the tornadic thunderstorm approaching you folks in Marshall. Marshall 10:29, Covington 10:49, Hayward 10:51, Garber at 10:04. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, we got another tornado on the ground again, Gary. It's still moving north. It's not quite the Highway 3 yet, but anyone driving on Highway 3 needs to stop what they're doing.
Okay.
Anywhere between Banner Road and Highway 81.
Between Banner Road and Highway 81, yeah, we see the circulation is
Yeah,
looks like
get out of the way if you're between Banner Road and Highway 81 on Highway 3 at this point.
eventually may have to deal with this thing again in the Piedmont area.
Oh, Gary, it's large now. We have a large tornado on the ground now.
Okay, this is the one that's crossing Highway 3. Okay, we got a damage report now. Highway 77 south of Mulhall, impassable trees and power lines down covering the highway. Yeah, Mike, this thing is the curvature, the signature becoming more pronounced.
Yeah, Gary, large tornado on the ground. I see it right now.
We see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miles west of Piedmont, roughly.
Yep.
And
exactly where I've got it.
Crossing the highway. Now,
we have debris cloud, too.
just stay with it. Shoot the best video you can. And we're going to have to look at some of these other storms. They're continuing to intensify. The bar storm is not too strong at this time, but could, let me move this thing, could move. And we're looking at this, there's a circulation on it, not extremely strong in the bar area, Drummond area, but could reach Vance 10:45, Enid at 10:53. This storm near Marshall, I'm telling you, it is extremely strong. And it could reach the Marshall area 10:29, 10:49 at Covington, and Hayward 10:51. And Garber at 11:04. We're going to move over just a bit. The storm that's in northern Logan County, western Payne County,
I know it, Dan. I see
should
it.
be producing significant severe weather as we speak. It's in the Orlando area. It's right in here. You can't see the configuration too well, but we see a major circulation with it in the Orlando area. And, yes.
Large tornado continues on the ground at this point.
Always
It's constant now, Gary. It's not lifting at all.
tell me.
Constantly on the ground at this point.
Okay, I need to know where you are. And
Okay, where I'm at, I'm just south of Highway 81. I'm
say
2
again?
miles. Yeah, I can hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm 2 miles south of Highway 81, and I'm looking east, and it's about probably 4 miles to my east. So it's not past Highway 3. It's actually moving quite slow at this point.
Okay.
It's not moving at like 60 mile an hour like it was when it crossed Highway 40, I-40 earlier
Okay.
by El Reno. It's slowed down, but it's gotten larger is the problem.
So you're talking about this storm right in here, and it's just it's pretty well wrapped up. It's a small storm, the thunderstorm itself, but moving northeast rather rapidly. We have numerous tornado warnings continuing. Gary Horker, can you talk to me?
Yeah, we were still headed north on I-35. It's a really eerie thing, Gary, because there is absolutely everybody on the road that we can see who's northbound is pulled over underneath the bridges and overpasses. It's eerily silent where we are, but we can still see that huge black lowering, and it's north and east of us. And it's a rare truck that passes us like this one just did.
Yeah, keep talking to me, Gary.
All right, and I guess the one thing we were concerned about is if we continue to head north, this one that might be north of Piedmont might be right behind us.
You're okay.
All right.
You can go within about 2 miles of the Mulhall exit now.
Okay.
It's lifting on the northeast. So from Mulhall to Orlando to Lake Carl Blackwell, stay alert because that thing is extremely strong. Let me check some velocities here on it, see how we're doing with it. Yeah, from the Mulhall area and Orlando area indicates a very major tornadic thunderstorm. Okay, we're going to have to go south. We now have a tornado warning for southwestern Oklahoma. Is this ever going to end? Okay, we have a tornado warning, Jackson County. I need to slip that on the board. We need Jackson County, southwest Oklahoma. We've got a tornado, possible tornado moving north at about 40. So you folks in Altus, Davidson, Elmer, Frederick, Friendship, Hedrick, Humphreys, Mantua, Martha, and Tipton, be alert. This is this storm right down here. This storm is going to be moving north, right up toward you folks in Elmer, Olustee, Altus, and Tipton. So tornado warning for Jackson County down to the southeast and Tillman County. So Jackson and Tillman County tornado warning continues in effect. So southwestern Oklahoma, we'll go jump back up here to the north, and we have numerous tornado warnings. The bar storm does not look quite that strong, but we see some other shear going on back southwest of Ames, back in this area here, which might produce a tornado. So you folks for Ames, Drummond, Bar, Vance, Wacomas, Enid, Breckenridge, stay alert. Marty?
I'm on Highway 3.
Yes?
The tornado passed just to the east of Uncle John Creek.
Okay.
It's illuminated so much that I got the camera out and got some night shots. That's how much lightning there is with this storm. It's still around probably 200 to 300 yards wide. It's a beautiful cone shape, rain-free base. It's real easy to see.
Okay, it looks
looks like it's still heading north, probably northeast.
Okay, it looks like an unfortunate thing. I hope these people have radios up there. We're broadcasting on KXY 96.1. This one appears to be headed toward Cashin. I don't know how you can get up that way or where you're from, Marty.
Gary, we have elm trees out in road on Highway 3. Large elm trees, very large, probably 2 to 3 foot diameter at the base. They're blown over. Edge of them, part of them is in the road.
Okay, Marty.
And
I don't know if you can. I don't know how you can. I'm not sure the road's up that way where you can get across and follow. But this thing looks like it's going to go up toward Cache and take a similar track. So it's going to have to be watched up through parts of Kingfisher County into Logan County. Okay.
Okay.
So just do you still have the funnel in sight?
Oh yeah, yes I do.
The tornado is still on the ground. It'd be northwest of Piedmont, a couple, 4 miles. Okay, Mike's on Gator. Mike probably has the same tornado. Mike, you have the tornado northwest of Piedmont? Marty?
Yes.
Do your best to follow this thing because it may become even more significant.
Okay, we'll stay with it.
And we're seeing multiple circulations in many parts of the state, so I'm going to have to work them all. We have tornado warning for southwestern Oklahoma. We have tornado warnings running from Bar and Drummond and Vance up to the Enid. We're also seeing development back southwest of Ames. So you folks in the Ames area, Mike, can you talk to me?
Yeah.
Talk to me, Mike.
Okay, we got a tornado on the ground again, Gary. It's still large. It's moving north. It's north of Highway 3 now, probably about, I'll tell you where we're at. We're at 81 and Highway 3, so we're 2 miles south of Okarche.
Okay.
We're looking due east. We're looking due east about 2 to 3 miles, and there's a large tornado continuing on the ground.
Okay, Mike, looks movement northeast about 30, 35 miles an hour.
Okay.
This is Oklahoma County over here. So it is, Piedmont is just west of Oklahoma City. Highway 3, it's passing Highway 3, so if you're traveling Highway 3, you're going to be all right for a while. But if you're going Highway 74 up into Logan County, this thing has leaped almost, the southern edge of the circulation now about a mile south of the Kingfisher border. Okay, here's 281, and there's 3. And here's Piedmont, so it could be, just northwest of Piedmont.
That's right. Gary's probably about 6 miles southeast of Okarche.
Okay, we've got it also about 14 southwest of Cashin. We've got a movement on this storm northeast at 30, so I'm afraid they're out of power in Cashin. Hopefully they're listening to their radios, their battery radios, because this may affect Cashin. This is another large tornadic thunderstorm.
Yeah,
moving
hey,
toward,
Gary?
Yes.
This is more of a wedge type tornado now, so it could be getting very, very strong at this point. This is much like the tornadoes earlier in the day that were wedge type tornadoes down south.
Okay, just hang with it, stay with it as best you can, and just holler at us anytime you have anything.
I certainly will.
We have now a tornado warning eastern Lincoln County. I'm going to have to jump over there very quickly. Okay, there it is. There it is.
Moving northeast at 30.
Okay, so we have this tornado in the Kendrick area. With, between Kendrick and Davenport, we have indications of a tornado, not as strong as the other ones, but could be doing damage. So Kendrick, Davenport, Stroud, you folks take immediate tornado precautions. Kendrick, Stroud, Davenport, tornado in that area. Could produce damage at any moment if it's not producing at this particular time. Kendrick, Davenport, Stroud, Shamrock, possibly Bristow. If you're traveling I-44 northeast out of Oklahoma City, don't do it. If you're traveling Interstate 44 south west out of Tulsa, turn around and go back. Tornadic thunderstorm is just about over I-44 in the Stroud area. So take your immediate tornado precautions in the Kendrick, Davenport, Stroud, Shamrock, Bristow area. Move it northeast about 35 miles per hour. Of course, many of these are becoming rain wrapped. It's almost impossible to see them. They're extremely dangerous. Do we have any counts on what's happened?
Hey, Gary, this is Mike.
Yeah, Mike, talk to me.
Okay. Hey, this tornado is just getting bigger, and I mean it's been on the ground now for about 10 to 15 minutes. So it can't be stressed enough how dangerous this tornado is. It's been on the ground for quite some time at this point.
Okay, for the folks, many of these people, Dover and all of them, had their power out. I don't know about, can you see lights in Piedmont? Mike, can you see lights?
No, I can't see any lights at Piedmont at this point, but it's north of Piedmont, Gary.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
yeah, you're trying to get an idea of damage.
Yeah, Cashin.
Cashin and Reading right now at this time need to be definitely taking cover.
Cashin may not have power at all, so we're broadcasting on KXY Radio 96.1, and this is becoming, you still have a tornado in sight?
Yes, I do.
Tornado is still in sight.
Eventually maybe Cimarron City, Deer Valley, and that area will need to be. Wandell maybe also.
Okay, once again, just give me your location and where it is and what all you see.
Okay, where I'm at is Highway 81 and 3. I'm still south of Okarche by 2 miles, so I'm still sitting in the same place. I've been in the same place for about 15 minutes just watching this tornado, and it has not even shown signs of weakening whatsoever.
So it's moving toward the Cashin area. We have...
yes, it is.
Yes, it is. We have 4 confirmed fatalities at Southwest Medical Center now, and I can't imagine how many injuries we may have, but 4 confirmed fatalities. And these storms continue very, very dangerous. Extensive damage in Mulhall. Gary Horker and those guys are right there. No lights in Piedmont?
No power in Piedmont.
Well, tell them to tell their friends if they can turn on the 96.1, because that's the only thing we can do is radio on those areas. So many areas the power's been knocked out now. We have a tornado warning continuing for Jackson County in southwestern Oklahoma. There's near the Ames area, we're indicating shear or circulation. So you folks in the Ames area, Drummond area, Barr, be alert. Also, we're still indicating shear circulation in the Drummond area. That's moving up toward Vance and Enid. And let's see, let me move on over. Looks like it's east of Marshall. Strong circulation moving into Garfield County. Now, you folks in the Perry area, we're indicating a very strong circulation. You can't see it here very well, but the circulation on it, I'll go in on my velocities, which we're not showing you at home, but on my wind speeds, and I see a very strong circulation. 1, 2, 3, it's huge. It's 6, 7 miles across, just south of Perry. So from Perry down to Lake Carl Blackwell, take your immediate tornado precautions. These storms, now let me move over here once again. Any of these could produce tornadoes. So we have tornado warnings for Garfield County, extreme northern Lincoln County, extreme northern Logan County, over into the Lake Carl Blackwell area, on up into Perry. Scott, can you talk to me?
Yeah, Gary, we're on I-44 now, probably about 5 to 10 miles to southwest of Stroud, Oklahoma, and there was real broad rotation, and we did have a funnel cloud right over the interstate just a moment ago. It has since lifted, and right now we're just getting a lot of heavy rain and lightning.
Okay, stay with it. Appreciate that very much. So once again, you folks that are traveling Interstate 44, listening to us on the radio, I-44 between Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Don't travel it. Oklahoma City and Tulsa, don't travel it. Tornado continues to be indicated northeast of Piedmont. Check with Mike on that storm. But I-44 from Oklahoma City to Tulsa, do not travel at all. And let me give you an indication on Interstate 35. We have a tornado near Cashin, Oklahoma, and then up around Noble, or in Perry, rather. We have Perry area, Interstate 35 in northern Oklahoma. Don't travel that. Tornadoes are indicated there. Interstate 35 south, we have numerous thunderstorms.
Whoa!
What do you have?
Nothing right now. Hold on.
Okay. We have thunderstorms along Interstate 35. I-40 west at the present time is fine. I-44 to the southwest is fine if you travel it, but there are tornadic thunderstorms south of Altus. Lights are back on in Piedmont. We see shear with the storm circulation in the Ames area. We see some fairly high-speed shear approaching Vance Air Force Base, which could produce a tornado. So let me just do it this way, you guys. From Ringwood to Ames to Barr, Vance, Drummond, Lahoma, Carrier, Enid, Vance, Fairmont, Covington, east of Marshall. Continue the tornado warning. Any of these, we have 3 circulations right now that could produce tornadoes. One is southwest of Ames. One is in the Drummond area, could produce a tornado. And we have another one just to the east of Marshall, is south of Covington. This could produce a tornado at any time. And let me just finish these, and we'll do a quick throw over to the news desk. And let's see. You folks in the Perry area, there's an extremely strong circulation just south of Perry, so tornado could occur in the Perry area at any moment. Take your immediate tornado precautions there. Another tornado warning, Stroud, Kendricks area. We'll check that very quickly. If you're in the path of any of these storms, don't mess around. Just take immediate tornado precautions. And this storm is in the Kendricks-Stroud area. And I'm going to go back one more time, check the thunderstorm where a tornado continues on the ground. And that is passing a little west of Cashin. And we're just going to take a quick check, and we'll go to Kelly. Kelly, what do you have?
We haven't seen in a long time. Gary and the storm team have been chasing these storms live on the air continuously for almost 6 hours now. And while tornadoes continue on the ground and we continue to follow those, there is an incredible amount of damage and destruction left in their path, especially across the south, southwest, southeast part of the metro into Midwest City and the Del City area.
We do know the National Guard has been called in to search through these neighborhoods. You are advised to stay away from those areas on the south. Let me go to Chris Holsney right now. He is at the First Baptist Church in the Moore area, where a lot of folks who are homeless tonight, Chris, are now trying to find some place to stay.
Absolutely catastrophic. The human toll, we're told, is rising. Right now we have about 100 injured, 20 or more transported from this location to area hospitals, one by medevac in serious condition. We just talked to the Moore Police Department, and they say that they will not confirm reports of fatalities right now, but they say they are expecting some. They have some reports that they're checking out right now. Take a look at the video of it's called Highland, or Highland Park neighborhood. There's an apartment complex within this neighborhood with several hundred units in it. Absolutely gone. The tornado tore through this neighborhood. People have been frantically searching for loved ones and relatives. Many of them were removed from that neighborhood by the police and sent here to the First Baptist Church on North 27th Street here in Moore to try to relocate families. We were in that neighborhood earlier and were told we absolutely had to leave. There are numerous gas leaks within the neighborhood that are extremely dangerous. The pungent odor of natural gas was very strong. They're still concerned about that in these neighborhoods. Obviously, no power, no electricity, water and gas spewing everywhere. The emergency crews are inside right now going through home to home, rubble to rubble, car to car, to see if they can find any more people inside that area. We're also told by the police department, obviously, avoid this area. I said, kind of what's the parameter here? He said it's the worst place south of about 12th Street on the north side, 27th, to the west Santa Fe, to the eastern. They basically said all of Moore is someplace you do not want to be tonight. There's some more video there of folks searching through the rubble. That's what it looks like in at least 3 major neighborhoods in the Moore area. We'll be here at the Emergency Command Post talking with officials, National Guard, rescue crews throughout the evening. We'll be here to keep you updated and give you all the latest information. Right now, we'll go back to Kelly and Robin. If you have any questions at all, we're out here. We have some answers, but we're still looking for an awful lot more out here right now as to what exactly happened.
Just unbelievable. As we continue looking at the pictures of the damage, we do understand in some areas about 300 homes gone down in the Moore area and over towards Midwest City as well. Another neighborhood there, you see someone who's been hurt. Literally, they're putting him in the back of a pickup truck, and we've been in communication with the hospital, Hillcrest Hospital, getting a lot of the injured coming in. What we understand right now is about 100 injuries have come in, and what we're hearing is that they're actually just tagging the people, Kelly, according to their injuries to see who's going to get the care first. And here, what you see, lightning strike, probably aftermath of this tornado. And as I believe the camera zooms out here, there you see what is left.
The one house that is standing is on fire. This is in Moore and southwest part of Oklahoma City. And again, we don't know numbers yet. They're still assessing all of that. And even while we look at this video and all this devastation down there, storms continue and tornadoes continue on the ground right now in parts of the state.
Gary continues monitoring those tornadoes for it. Look at all these people down in the Moore area that are left homeless. Kelly, we understand one of the hardest hit areas was down near Southwest 119th. They have set up a command post there. What we are also hearing is that the smell of natural gas is across much of the metro area tonight. What we have been told from natural gas crews is that is from the tornado coming through, ripping through the gas lines. If you have a natural gas odor, to keep your doors and windows closed. But if you are in that hardest hit areas, you do need to go to one of these storm shelters that we've been talking about. The First Baptist Church in Moore is one of them.
This tornado damage you're seeing here is a result of a huge tornado that Gary tracked for about 90 miles, more than 2 hours, starting at about 4:45 this afternoon down in southwest Oklahoma, and it came up I-44, the H.E. Bailey Turnpike, and across southwest Oklahoma City, doing an incredible amount of damage to cars on the road and, of course, these homes, too. Just an unbelievable destruction.
We need to go back to Gary England right now for the very latest. More storms coming in. Gary's tracking them. Gary, what's the latest?
Okay, we have Mike. Mike, let's go to Mike on the getter.
We're about 6-7 miles east of Okarche now.
Okay.
And we don't have a tornado on the ground at this point. There's still a very large wall cloud at this point.
Okay, that'd be over near Cashin. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to do a quick round robin here on all these storms, and just bear with me on them. Tornado warning continues up in Garfield County. We see shear circulation in the Ames area, Ames-Drummond area. We see some shear in the Vance-Enid area, so tornado warning continues there. Over here, we still see circulation between Covington excuse me, and northwest of Orlando, and is that a new tornado warning on that? So we have a new tornado warning on that. We've been watching that for about a half hour now. So tornado warning there. We have the circulation that's very strong right in the Orlando area. You can see the hook echo. You folks in the Perry area, stay alert. Most of this is moving to the northeast. I'm just going to come across these storms. Any of these could go ahead and produce more tornadoes. Move north of Stillwater now, and we'll go back down. So there's tornado warnings, Major County, Garfield County, to our north into Payne and Noble County. And let's see, what do you have there? We have, well, that's about what we're saying. 3 tornadoes in Garfield and Noble County, 3 miles northwest of Wacomas, 5 southwest of Lucene. 4th is just south of Perry. So, this storm is in the Stroud area. We've had a tornado warning on it, moving to the southeast. I'm going to go ahead and check these storms to the south. These appear to be intensifying some. In fact, they're every place. No tornado warnings down here at the present time. But I will tell you once again, tornado warning continues. Eastern Major County into Garfield County, the Vance-Enid area. And I'll just move it on over. Covers most of Garfield County. The Perry area, there's a threat in the Perry area as we speak of a significant tornado. So keep that in mind. And there's a circulation southwest of Perry. There's a circulation east of Perry. So east of Perry, stay alert there. Tornadoes could occur at any of those locations. And we continue down to the far southwest with tornado warnings on the storm south of Altus. I would tell you there's new storms forming right in here. As of yet, it hasn't done anything, but it looks pretty powerful. That should be moving north-northeast. other storms forming in southern Oklahoma along Interstate 35. No tornado warnings on those, but those are not out of the question also. So that's a quick wrap on the latest tornado warnings, where we stand, so we'll go back to the desk.
All right, we do have crews out in the field right now. We want to go to our Rich Field, who's been out and about surveying the damage. Rich, what are you finding?
Kelly, we can just tell you there is a lot of devastation where we are, just like there is throughout the entire metro area. We are right now at Southwest 134th Street between May and Penn in the Country Place edition. As you can see from a little bit earlier, we arrived here at the scene about 5 minutes after the tornado ripped right through this area and continued going northwest through the area. Ambulance and rescue crews were just arriving on the scene when we showed up. A lot of people in the area really not knowing what to do. The smell of natural gas was very, very thick in the air. Open pipes were spewing out gas. People began walking around just trying to look in the wreckage of the homes, trying to find any survivors, calling out names, asking if there was anyone alive in the rubbled heaps that were just left of slabs. There were just bare slabs everywhere. This housing addition, there's probably about between 80 and 100 homes in this area. It looks like all of them sustained some very, very serious damage. Several of them, 10 to 20, completely wiped off their foundations. We do know, we have been able to confirm from Oklahoma City Police Department that there was one confirmed fatality here. There were numerous people transported out of this area, and this storm blew through here and kept going toward the northwest, and did some severe damage just across the street up toward Penn, just a little ways north of here. Very, very serious damage. They're reporting some major injuries, as many as 30 deaths in that area. That is not confirmed, but police I've been speaking with here in this area have told me that they have heard as many as 30 people dead in an area just not far from here. Very, very serious damage. The crews have come through here with dogs trying to find any more survivors that could possibly be in the home. Right now, they're not finding any. Right now, a lot of emergency crews still coming in and out of this area. This area is very dark. There is no power. There is no phone service. There's really nothing left. It's basically a disaster site.
Rich, tell us exactly the area you are again, and are there any rescues underway right now, or have they given up that?
Kelly, we are right now basically at Southwest 134th Street between May and Penn.
Yeah, that water, we had to stand down there.
And there is really not any rescues going on at this time. Earlier there were several. There was just masses of people walking around. People would stop and come into this housing addition trying to do whatever they could to try to rescue their neighbors or just anyone that might be left here in this area. Kelly?
All right, News 9's Rich Field tonight. Rich, we'll be talking to you again in just a little bit.
We might mention that area where Neri is, south of Rich is, right now we'll finish in just a moment. We got to get back to Gary right now. Gary, what's up?
This will be another tornado warning. Let's go to DOP 9000 XL. This is a continuation of the tornadic thunderstorm near the Perry area. This one will be just east of Perry. But I got to tell you, there's a very strong circulation just to the west of Perry also. So in and around the Perry area, looks like moving northeast about 25 miles per hour. We have a strong circulation here. We have one to the west of Perry. You folks in the Perry area are at threat. And I'm going to move just a little bit to the west here. The thunderstorms are just intensifying all over the place. We continue with, could produce a small tornado in the Ames area. We've had reports of funnel clouds in the Enid area, but there's not a strong circulation at the moment. So right now the strongest circulation we have is west of Perry and also just to the east of Perry. And we're going to go over quickly and check these other storms. We've been continuing with a tornado warning in parts of eastern Lincoln County. We'll get over and check that here in just a second. And it's just northeast of Stroud. And let me drop on down to the south. And we have very strong shear on that storm in the Stroud area. So that's going. You're traveling Interstate 44. Not a good idea. We're indicating a circulation just northeast of Stroud, right on Interstate 44. We also continue with tornado warning back to the southwest. And has not quite made it into Oklahoma at the present time. So what we're watching very carefully, we've had a very strong mesocyclone with that storm just to our north, and that's produced a wedge tornado at times. This particular storm passed through El Reno very quickly, so we've had damage in El Reno, and right now it doesn't look as strong as it did. So, but we'll continue watching this storm. Let me look at there's still shear on the storm northeast of Cashin, so some circulation there. And the storm west of Drummond, south of Lahoma, has circulation with it. So let me jump up there real quickly. So let me tell you, eastern Major County, spotters just a little while ago reported tornado in Cashion, and Cashion's just a little bit to the northwest of Oklahoma City. I suspect a lot of these people, a lot of these areas are out of power. We know that many of these areas have been hit. Dover's been hit, Mulhall or Orlando, many places. But we've got a circulation right here in the eastern Major. There's still a circulation close to Enid, in and around the Perry area, also over towards Stroud. And that's about it at the moment, Kelly.
All right, Gary.
We are trying to assess, as the National Guard has been called in, to assess the damage and injuries. Marlo Brower's been working that angle of our story tonight from the newsroom. Marlo, what is the news right now?
Well, I've been out at Integris Southwest Medical Center, and injuries were coming in minutes after the tornado hit in the Mercy area, hit in the Moore area. As you can see, all the different hospitals are reporting various injuries. Mercy Hospital has no injuries. St. Anthony's has 9 injured at the moment. Norman Regional has 30 injured. Southwest Medical Center has 50 injured, and 4 are now confirmed dead. Baptist Integris, 10 to 20 injured, as well as 8 overcome by gas, and also there are some walking wounded walking around as well. We do know that as they do come into the hospitals, the doctors and the nurses have been called into all of these hospitals. Most of the hospitals are on priority 1 alert, trying to help all the people that come into the emergency room. Most people who made it here are feeling lucky. They survived. Others will be fighting for their lives throughout the night. People like this woman. A board speared her head. Complete strangers brought her here.
Don't even have to ask names in a situation like this. You just help.
Adults and children alike, hurt and rolled in one after another. Some so traumatized, only a mother's arms can calm them down. Those who brought them here wish they could have done more.
The bad part was as people, as we're driving through, are yelling that they've got people trapped and we can't help them because we've got a woman that, is hurt. And, it's a terrible feeling.
Some made it to the hospital, but doctors have no hope for them. The trauma, just too much. And we just checked with all 10 hospitals that are now accepting people who are injured. We have come up with the number 5 are now confirmed dead, 5 confirmed dead. Within all of those hospitals, we know at least more than 150 injured. And of course, we are calling the hospitals every half hour to keep you updated on exactly how many people are injured and how many more may be confirmed dead. Robin, Kelly.
All right, Marlo, I know you'll keep us posted on that information. It's just staggering as we see those people going in injured. Unbelievable.
And I fear it's going to get much worse. Chris Harrison has been out covering the storm for us as well, the storm damage, and really looking at it from the Del City, Midwest City area.
Yeah, Kelly, let me tell you in particular where we are, 12th Street, just east of Sooner Road, so about 3 miles away from Tinker Air Force Base. We drove through just as the sun was going down, and as you've seen from the other reporters in the field, just complete destruction as that huge tornado rolled through. Here's the scene when we pulled up, and we'll take a look at the video. A young lady and her mom survived by jumping in kind of a hole in their house. Here's what the mother had to say.
You trapped under there?
I was already in there. She just barely got in there and closed the door and it hit.
What did it sound like?
Freight train. Yeah. A big freight train coming.
That's what most of the residents here said, and you can kind of hear the gas spewing out, just a stench all around this neighborhood, making sure the residents weren't smoking, no lighters, and that's still the problem. There's some gas leaks all over this neighborhood, cars thrown around just like they were toys. As we're walking down the block here, not one house was left standing in the middle of this. On the outsides like this, there were a few structures that were left up, but everything was damaged and several injuries. The good news, no fatalities that we have heard from. I just talked to police. No fatalities, were several injuries like this elderly woman that had to be helped by neighbors for several hours until paramedics could get in here. Paramedics having the same problems that everybody is. There's traffic and streets are shut down all over the place. Again, cars that were parked in driveways thrown down the street. Here is more damage. Trees, this car thrown into the house. We found a group of neighbors, about 13 people, that, as Gary said, took refuge underground, and here's his story.
Pried it up and up on this end where one person could crawl out to dig the stuff off of it.
How many folks were down here?
There's 13 of us.
13 neighbors in and around here?
There was two, I guess, actually 3 families that was in there. There's about 13 of us that was down in there.
And this was trapped, this was close
yeah,
shut?
See
How
all
many?
the blocks there and stuff there, and that dryer and stuff there, all that was up on top of there. Like
How many of you guys did it take to open this thing?
It took 4 of us there. We got right up against it there, and we pried it up enough where it got about that big of an opening where one guy could squeeze out to get up here and dig the debris off of it. And it got real dusty inside there, and the gas fumes, you know, and we're like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah. Just down the street from this man's house, we met another woman that was underground. Here's what she had to say.
Channel 9, and his wife and grandbaby and son was already over there in the cellar next door, and he said, let's go. And we wasn't in there 2 minutes till it hit. We could hear it just a roaring.
By looking at it, Gary said you had to be underground to live through this.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
true. You guys were underground.
Yeah.
So what did it sound like?
Oh, it sounded like a train, a big freight train coming through, and just when it got on top of us, we could hear stuff hitting the cellar door.
So luckily, these residents were underground. They had plenty of warning. They were all listening to Gary and got out of harm's way. Again, medical crews and emergency crews still coming in and out of this area. The good news, no fatalities around here that we have heard of yet. But again, until morning when they can really get in these houses and check, we're not 100% sure, guys.
Yeah, not sure what we're going to find out there, Chris. We've heard reports there could be as many as 350 homes leveled out there in that area where you're at. Is the damage that widespread out there?
Kelly, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. When we pulled up to this neighborhood, it's at least a mile down the road where there's just nothing. It's like you're in the middle of a field and you know that there were houses here. There's some cars and some trees to show that there were houses, but there's nothing. And it was as far as I could see that this tornado just cleared a huge path, and it's just amazing. And to see people actually walking around, it's amazing that anybody lived through this destruction.
Really is. Chris Harrison tonight. All right, Chris.
Well, we watched as that tornado started from really the Apache area and moved up to the Newcastle area and then that southwest side of Moore. That's where Amy Holly is now. Amy, tell us what you know.
Robin, I'm at 119th and Western, where authorities have set up a command post for people who are still looking for their loved ones. Now, authorities say there is 1 fatality confirmed, possibly 2, and dozens more injured. And tonight they continue to search for survivors, especially in the Emerald Lake apartment complex. Take a look at some of the video that we shot earlier. The East Lake Addition neighborhood is nearly flattened, and take a look at this mass exodus of about 300 people coming from Westmore High School. Now, these people earlier today were stuck inside as the storm came through and peeled away the school's roof. As far as we know, no one was injured there. They were finding their way to safety. Now, tonight, police continue to search for survivors in that flattened apartment complex, the Emerald Lake apartment complex. That's really where the focus is tonight, and many of the survivors were found because firefighters could hear their screams underneath the rubble. The damage is so extensive that police are bringing in bulldozers and huge earth movers here. The search for survivors does continue, and in fact, the damage is so extensive that they've moved the parameters out, and here's where they are: 104th to 149th and Santa Fe to May. It is a large area that is extensively damaged, and they're not letting anyone in throughout the night. One firefighter said to call this a war zone doesn't even come close. Robin and Kelly.
Oh, it's just incredible to look at those pictures. Here is more damage tonight. This is unedited pictures that you're looking at, but what we understand is that tornado, as we watched from about 4:45 this afternoon, and for about a couple hours, this one tornado, winds possibly up to 260 miles an hour. It was a half a mile wide, is what some of the storm spotters were saying. A very intense, as Gary was saying, he has never seen a day like this before.
Amy, I've been through storm damage areas like this, but not on this kind of scale. How difficult is it to get through there with the power lines down there? How dangerous is it for the people who are still down there?
Well, that max exodus that you're now looking at right here with about 300 people, the reason why they had to go through this field is because the damage is so extensive they couldn't go on the south side of Westmore High School. And as you can see there in some of those pictures, the power lines are down too. As I said, the roof is peeled off and the roof has been thrown all over the street. They had to maneuver a fence to get through there. It's just indescribable, Kelly.
Well, these folks saw this tornado coming on television, and it looks like a lot of them did a tremendous job of of trying to get to a safer place than a home would have been.
Right. And a lot of them credit our early storm warnings for that. A lot of them said that they were just calm and kept listening to Gary's warnings and credit him for their safety tonight.
Hey, Amy, where are these people going to go? Did you get a chance to talk to very many of these people? Where are they going to go tonight?
Yes, we have a couple of places that they're going to go, and I'm trying to find this right now. Now, Oak Crest Church of Christ at 89th Street between Penn and Western. Those people are taking some of the displaced folks here. And there's also Gracemont Church. Gracemont Church is also accepting people who have no homes to go to tonight.
Amy, we might also add, we know the Red Cross has set up a shelter at the Moore Community Center at South 19th and I-35 there in Moore. So all of those places are going to be full tonight.
As well as the First Baptist Church there on the other side of Moore taking folks tonight. Amy, Holly there at the scene. Keep getting information for us, and we'll check back in with you in just a moment. Gary is continuing to watch several storms across central Oklahoma tonight. Let's get the very latest from him right now. Gary.
And we have another tornado warning. This would be for eastern sections of Enid in Garfield County. Let's take a look at it on Doppler 9000 XL. The tornado warnings continue for a little bit of eastern Major County, from Lahoma, Drummond, Vance, Enid, Breckenridge, Hunter, Garber area. We've had reports of a possible fatality in the Perry area also. Interstate 44 to the northeast is blocked by 18-wheelers that have been blown across the road. Lincoln County severe thunderstorm warning. But anyway, tornado warning for Garfield County continues, and we'll take that just a little bit onto the east. These storms don't appear quite as strong as they were. Still a strong indication of a circulation east of Perry, east of the Perry area. So you folks east of Perry up toward Red Rock, stay alert to the possibility of a tornado there. It is not out of the question that storm is on the ground doing damage as we speak. I'm going to drop a little bit to the south. Stillwater, you're in fine shape right now, but let me tell you, there's a lot of storms around. Some of these still could go tornadic, even though there's a slight decrease. This one near Crescent still looks a little bit suspicious circulation-wise. So many of the areas have power out. Now, I will tell you, the storm near Crescent does have circulation on it and could still produce another tornado. It is not as strong as the other ones, but southeast of Crescent, and that will be moving up toward the Mulhall area. So in the Enid area, the Perry, just east of Perry, and the Crescent area, stay alert to the possibility of tornadic activity there. And then we're looking at we're still looking at a circulation south of Stroud, and that's with this storm right in here. And this could produce a tornado as it moves on to the northeast. We're indicating, give me that last one because I think it's basically what I said. Now we're going to cancel the tornado warning for Tillman and Jackson County in southwestern Oklahoma, so that's canceled. But we still have a tornado over Cimarron City. So you folks in Cimarron City, Crescent, and Mulhall should take immediate tornado precautions. And let me just slip back up that way very quickly for you. And so tornado warning continues. These folks are out of power. Hopefully you're on, listen to us on 96.1 KXY radio. Tornado continues to be indicated near Crescent and also possibly just to the east of Enid. Kelly?
All right, Gary, we appreciate it. We do know in the path of that tornado damage, there are a lot of natural gas lines that have been broken. We do want to bring in Don Sherry with Oklahoma Natural Gas right now. Don, tell us what the imminent threat is, especially in that area where the tornado went through.
Well, Robin, as you can well imagine, we have a tremendous amount of damage where the tornado struck. We have a lot of broken gas pipes, a lot of blowing gas. We've activated an emergency response. We're bringing employees in from all across the state, and we'll be trying to isolate the area and shut off the flow of gas. And it's been so pervasive, and I know you've gotten calls here at the station, that people outside of the damage area all across Oklahoma City are smelling gas. And the thing that I would suggest to you is that if you live outside of the damage area, if you live in other parts of the metropolitan Oklahoma City area and you're smelling gas in the air, you don't really have any reason to be concerned. But if you're in part of the damage area, if you're in the damaged structure and you smell gas, we're suggesting that people not attempt to turn off meters or turn off valves, but to simply leave the structure.
Yeah, Don, we got calls from people up in Edmond who were smelling the gas tonight. How difficult, how big of a job do you guys have ahead of you getting all of that shut down and secured?
Oh, Kelly, it's going to be an enormous job, as is the case with all of the public safety responders. The damage is so terrific, as we've seen from your video tonight, that it's going to take some time to isolate the area. What we're trying to do is obviously shut off the flow of gas, shut off the meters where we can, shut off pipeline valves where necessary. and stop the gas from flowing. And part of the difficulty that we're facing right now, I'm told by our people on the scene, is simply access to the area. The damage is so pervasive, it's difficult to get where we need to be. So we'll be working throughout the night and on into the days to come to isolate the area and shut down the flow of gas.
All right, Don, we appreciate your help tonight. Don Sherry with ONG. We might also add that Oklahoma Gas and Electric told us at one point earlier this evening 60,000 people were without electricity, but I've got to think the number's higher than that here in the last couple of hours.
Well, 6 substations were knocked off tonight, so probably there will be a lot more folks without power. We are watching with you these pictures that have been coming in from our crews who have been out in the field.
I presume I'm clear.
Folks who have been displaced from their home. Many of these people coming from Westmore School down in the Moore area. Chris Halsney also in the Moore area tonight at First Baptist Church, where a lot of folks have gone. That's now a shelter area. Chris, talk to us about what's taking place there.
Well, Robin, we are at the First Baptist Church, and there are hundreds and hundreds of people coming here from a complex of homes over here just to the south called Highland and Highland Park. There are 300 to 500 people that live in that area. They've been evacuated to this spot here, mostly because of the natural gas leaks, and really, quite frankly, there is just nothing left. Take a look at the video we shot just moments after the tornado ripped through this neighborhood. You can tell that the homes just aren't there. There was metal and wood and plastic all merged together, and there were a number of neighbors who at first started going home to home, helping injured, trying to make sure that animals and neighbors and kids were all safe. They shouted into the debris for quite a while, but as the hissing of the natural gas pipes became more intense and the air filled with gas, the police department and the military eventually came in and just told folks they absolutely had to leave the area and come over here. They are concerned about that still at this hour, but the evacuation crews have been planning here, the emergency crews, to go back in with big equipment and searchlights and go home to home, and they're doing that right now. We've talked to the police department here in Moore a short time ago. Hello! They said they have at least 100 injured. Every street in town is virtually impassable. They obviously want you to avoid this particular area around Northeast 27th and south to 12th Street along I-35. It is the path of the most serious destruction. We do have some reports of fatalities here. They will not confirm those yet, but they're more than rumor. Certainly, they are fatalities that have come from this complex over here, including a missing person. We'll keep you up to speed as we get more definitive details on that.
Chris, can you give us an idea of what's happening on I-35? Is I-35 clear to traffic now?
I-35 northbound is open to traffic. Southbound appears still to be closed. They've talked all night long about closing it, but to my knowledge, the northbound lane has never closed. There is severe destruction on the other side of I-35 as well, including earlier some burning buildings. But they have kept traffic flow fairly good along there. The rest of the streets in this area, however, are all blocked off. Power lines are down, huge trees are down, and cars and homes are in the middle of the street. We're talking unbelievable damage.
It's amazing, and this is an area that was hit by a tornado last year somehow.
Unbelievable. We continue to watch the pictures. It was just to see those people going through the debris, just shouting if anyone is even there. You were watching along. We wanted to show you one woman's reaction to what she felt as the tornado was
Let us know what it was like inside of there.
Well, we could hear on the radio what was going on. We had a couple of portable radios, and we could hear when things were going to happen, and then everybody said, everybody get down. We dove under some, like, countertops that were there, and you could feel the air pressure start to change, and the wind, and then we could even kind of feel like mist, like rain mist. And then
what were people doing in there? I'm sure people were
They weren't screaming. They weren't screaming. Everybody was just saying, stay down, get down, and they did, and we just kind of waited it out. When we got out, the corridors all have parts of ceilings down, and I mean insulation hanging down, water running in.
So you felt it when it came over?
Yeah, we felt it, the air pressure and the mist kind of blowing through the room, you know, the mist, rain.
Are there still people in there?
I don't think so. I think they've had them out for a little while, kind of waiting in the parking lot.
Why'd they walk you around this way for?
Because there's some power lines or something up near the front.
And what were you all doing in there?
There was an an award ceremony for Moore West Junior High that was supposed to start at 7. And then my other daughter was there for a testing that they were having today.
There was an AP Calc testing, and then there was also a drama theater thing going on in the lecture center. So
Gotcha.
There you hear the story of one of the parents and her daughter who was at the school there in Moore tonight when the tornado came through, getting ready for an awards banquet at 7 o'clock tonight, Kelly, but that was not going to happen.
Oh. Our Alex Cameron was also out and about tonight down in South Oklahoma City, surveying the destruction down there and talking to the victims. Let's listen to what Alex has to say. Alex?
Well, I was just north of Newcastle, southwest of Moore, around southwest 149th Street. You've seen worse damage tonight, but I'll tell you, this is just a matter of degree. Everybody in some way was impacted by this. Take a look at some of our unedited video here. This is as we drove up on southwest 149th Street. The fence pushed down, debris into the fence. This man's trailer turned over here. You can see the house there, a portion of the roof torn off. Turns out the people who live here had just moved in, a month or so ago. Family from Indianapolis. There's the man right there, pointing out the storm cellar that saved him and his daughters and some of their neighbors. It's filled with water. They didn't want to go down there at first, but after a while they realized that might be their only way to escape injury, escape death. Since they went down to that storm shelter, there's a chain there on that door. They had to hold that chain. Several men had to hold it as tight as they could to keep it from being pulled open and keep them from being pulled out.
H-A-Y-N-E-S.
They made it just fine. Again,
I'm Felicia.
Felicia.
I'm Brittany.
Brittany. What happened? Well, we kept watching the Weather Channel, and nobody wanted to go down there because of the water. So my wife says, let's get in the truck and let's run from it. I said, we can't run from something like this. So we get down there and made some pillows and threw some tires down there, spare tires, and we get the kids wrapped up in the corner, you know, best thing. And just as it was coming across, we seen it, them guys, the other two guys come running over here, so they let me in. I thank God I did, or we wouldn't be here right now for the other two guys. It was our neighbors, because we had that chain and it was pulling us out of this thing. That's how hard it is. We raised up. I seen that house just getting demolished. What little, but it was.
so if you hadn't had anyone to help you hold the door closed,
nobody held that door closed, we don't know what could have happened. I mean, really, you never know. But it went through quick. I think a little bit longer. Your ears down there with the two holes. That was, you got the two kids you're mainly worried about. But
you just moved here.
Yeah, first time I've been in Tornado. I never knew they could do this. I got respect for them now.
Did it help to have some warning? Did the weather stations?
Well, yeah, we can say Gary England, but she watches Gary England. Yeah. But I thank God for all you guys. If it wasn't for the news, we wouldn't be here. So thank God we have people like you guys out there chasing storms.
What do you guys?
You got something to say? First time you ever been in one, you want to say something? You're on TV.
What do you think about now that it's over?
I'm happy that I survived.
What's happy that you survived? Were you scared for a little while? Thanks.
Yes, you could go with her. She's not going up. But our trailer's over here, and I had two dogs. I seen.
Tell you what, it's interesting. You meet people who go through this experience, and for these people, the first tornado they've ever experienced. You can see, as he said, they have new respect for Mother Nature and for tornadoes. He was taking us inside his house here, showing us around, and this is his kitchen.
This is our kitchen. Some table here, and as you can see now we got a sunroof. But oh yeah, you just wonder how a tornado could do.
Then into the next room. This is a living room, brand new furniture he just bought a couple days ago.
Unreal.
Also says that in a few more days he was going to get insurance. He has no insurance.
You said you had some new furniture?
This is 3 days old. And that's just, but my truck is still in one piece out on the other side of the garage. I was going to put it in this garage here. There's a garage over here. There was a 2-car garage. Now you can't tell, but there was a 2-car garage on the other side where the trailer is. The garage is gone and the trailer's sitting right there. And then I got 2 more garages back here. And I was going to put my truck right here because we was in a hurry. And I said, well, I better take it against the wind.
Alex, we hate to interrupt you, and we'll come back to you in a moment. But Gary, tell us what's up.
Let's go ahead and go to Doppler 9000 XL. Another tornado warning in Logan County, just to our north. And this would be possible tornadoes about 7 miles. Let's see. This would be in the Crescent area. This would be in the Crescent area, moving to the northeast. Yeah, and just to the northeast of Crescent. Okay. And so in the Crescent area, moving up toward Mulhall, another potential tornado developing. So this is Guthrie area. So from Crescent to north of Guthrie to Mulhall, take your immediate tornado precautions.
All right, Gary. And the numbers, as we'll go back to Alex in a moment, but as the numbers keep coming in, we have now learned 350 people have been injured, and the death toll is climbing. It is now at 7.
We want to talk to Alex Cameron a little more. Alex, tell us as we look at more of the video about the things that you saw on the way down there. What got your attention as you started making your way south and seeing the damage for the first time?
Well, what I was amazed by, Kelly, and you don't see this right here, but you've seen it in another video, was the metal wrapped around trees and just the sheer force of this tornado. And obviously this man would probably look at this now and compare to the other tape and say, boy, I was fortunate. You know, when you see some of the damage. But
Alex, how many people were down in that storm cellar with him?
I think there were probably a total of about somewhere between 8 and 10 people. There were some kids down there and several neighbors. I didn't get the exact total, but several people. And then we went just down the street from here, and there's several storm shelters out there, and a lot of people are walking around alive tonight because of those storm shelters and because of the early warning they got.
Boy, we just continue looking at that damage. As it went into Newcastle, some of those homes are on 5 acres of land or so. Boy, look, there's that intense, Alex, as you were talking about, metal just slapped through the tree.
There you go. This is right along Southwest 149th Street, pretty close to what would be May Avenue up there. This was just incredible here. These trees just totally stripped.
We've been looking at some of these neighborhoods that have been established and down there for so long, and they had full-grown trees in them, and they just look, they're just barren now.
Yeah, and you know, deformed, either uprooted or, you know, the branches just stripped of all vegetation and now all pointing in a westerly direction, as is the grass, as is just about everything.
Gary always talks about when you see just those trees sheared off like that at the top, that is a definite sign of a tornado. We see the power lines down. Let's listen into this man right here.
It was pretty scary. I was in the hallway laying down, and it came over. The hallway wall folded in on me, and well, it stopped after about 3 or 4 minutes, and I looked up, the roof was gone, see sky, and I just beat my way out of the house through the wall.
I can tell that you're completely covered in mud. Was that from?
It's from in the house. It blew it all in the house.
What's your name?
Les King. K-I-N-G.
Les, L-E-S?
Les.
You seem really calm, Les.
I'm alive.
You know, that's one of the things I noticed, Rob and Kelly, that some of the people, a lot of these people smiling, even with destroyed homes, ruined cars, whatever, they're just very, very happy, realize they're fortunate to be walking around and talking.
It really does look like a war-torn area.
Wow.
Gary England tracking more storms tonight across our state. Let's get the very latest from him right now.
And this is the Crescent storm. It continues to intensify. We notice the velocities are increasing with it, moving northeast of Crescent up toward the Mulhall area. So from Crescent to north of Guthrie to Mulhall, take your immediate tornado precautions. And another new tornado warning just southeast of Red Rock, and the wind velocities on it continue to increase. So from Red Rock on to the northeast, moving about 25 miles per hour. Tornado warning from Red Rock east up into parts of Pawnee County, a little bit later Osage County. We might run a little bit of tape of one of the tornadoes. This Joe and John Mashburn shot this. They're at Newalla and I-44, and you can see this is as it's moving in to basically the metropolitan area. And this tornado, it probably at times may have been a mile wide, maybe wider. The wind speeds we don't know for sure, but could easily be 250 plus at times. It's rather small at that particular point. But once again, Joe and John Mashburn brought this in. It was moving in toward the Moore area, and once I mentioned the Newalla area, moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour earlier this afternoon. Of course, we have video of tornadoes from all day long. But this particular storm, as they were shooting from Interstate 44 around the Newcastle area, and extremely deadly storm, as we all know now, and movement northeast. At times, it was so large, it would not fit in the viewfinders. Extremely large circulation. The circulation on the Doppler itself inside the thunderstorm was 6 to 7 miles across, but on the ground, a mile maybe, some cases maybe just a little bit larger. And I would think within that circulation, there were individual, what we call multiple vortex tornadoes. And I don't even recall how long this particular one produced tornadoes, but it was an extended period of time. And we've had other tornadoes. Tornado quickly moved about 60 to 70 miles an hour, 50 to 70 miles an hour across the El Reno area tonight. We've had, we know damage, a lot of damage in the Mulhall area. Many areas are out of power that we know. There was considerable damage reported, at least was reported in the Dover area. Some near Cashion, near Piedmont. There's just no telling how many areas. Now here, this is what can fool you. To some folks, this may look like a rain shaft on the ground, but this was just a gigantic mesocyclone, a gigantic tornadic thunderstorm. The entire storm was rotating, and at times, the only way you could tell there's an actual tornado on the ground is we could see power line flashes. And once again, it was moving northeast about somewhere between 30 and 40. And probably at times close to a mile wide. Winds probably 250 plus, maybe stronger in some cases. So right now we have two tornado warnings continuing, one in Logan County and one up around Red Rock. And Kelly, that's all we have for the moment. All right, Gary. We do want to talk with News 9's Amy Holly, who's down in South Oklahoma City with a couple of our city leaders.
She is with the Mayor Kirk Humphreys and the councilman from the Moore area, Jerry Foshee, tonight. Amy, go ahead.
We are here at 119th and Western, where I've been telling you that the authorities have been setting up a command post for people who are still looking for their loved ones because the devastation is so unbelievable around here. And I know that you two have been talking to people here in the city. And what have you heard from people?
Well, there are several fatalities. We don't know how many injuries. Incredible devastation. Hundreds of cars down there. An entire apartment complex wiped out. An entire subdivision wiped out. And so the main thing we would say to people is, if you don't have business here, stay out of the area. Please stay off of your cell phones. Police and fire are using those to communicate. If you're looking for loved ones and you can't locate them, we're working on a system on that, and we'll give you information on that as soon as we can. Police and fire are doing all they can. Public Works, they're down there right now digging through the apartment complex.
The school itself will not be open tomorrow. There's extensive damage to Westmore High School, probably 4 foot of water standing in the auditorium. The administration offices are completely wiped out. If it hadn't been for a female police officer, I think her name was Vanessa Sanders, they were having probably 300 students. There was an assembly going on when it hit. She got the students and the parents out of harm's way into her stairway because she heard it, because they didn't have the televisions. They were busy during an assembly, so it could have been a lot worse. It's still very bad. There's at least 4 fatalities and many injured people. All the emergency rooms are completely covered up. But we'd ask the sightseers, please do not come into the area, because you're just blocking emergency vehicles and you're blocking the police and the fire department from doing their jobs.
That's anywhere from May Avenue east to Santa Fe, and then from 104th clear down to 149th Street. And that's just this area.
Anything specific that the city is already planning to take care of this incredible devastation?
Well, you know, we're working on it, the police and fire are working on it, and we'll be communicating with people as we have more information for them.
Thank you so much, both of you.
It's
going to be a very long night out here. Here again at 119th and Western, and I will tell you, as the councilman said, there are 4 confirmed fatalities here, and John Hansen from the fire department tells us that there are hundreds of more who have been injured in this area.
Yeah,
back to you guys.
The latest we're getting is 7 confirmed dead, up to 350 hurt. Is the councilman still there with you, Amy? Has he already gone off?
Councilman Foshee, can you tell us exactly how close the storm came to your home?
I went to another home whenever I saw it, which was about a mile away. I was on 119th and my house is 108th. We could hear the tornado. It sounded like a huge jet engine when it hit over at Westmore, and you could hear it. So it's within probably a mile and a half of my house.
I know a lot of people described it as a freight train.
Freight train, jet engine. It was it sounded like a constant roar, just constant roar. Matter of fact, I think that the weather stations here did an outstanding job, because when they had it in Newcastle, they said it was a mile-wide tornado. They said nothing above ground would survive. And if you went into the housing addition back there, there are literally no standing homes in that entire addition. So it wiped out an entire addition, not counting an apartment.
Amy, can you also ask the councilman about businesses down there?
What do you know about the devastation to the businesses in this area specifically? I know a lot of them are without lights tonight.
Well, electricity's off. A lot of the windows have been knocked out. We had some literally baseball-sized hail hitting the roofs. So we've got damages to most of the businesses within this area. Right now, our main coordination activities are involving trying to unite families. We have a lot of family members out here who are trying to find out where their loved ones are, and that's always very, very disturbing to the people.
Very hard to see these people looking for their loved ones, and they are bringing earth movers in because the damage is so extensive here at 119th and Western all the way down to 134th. Back to you.
All right, Amy Holly and Councilman Jerry Fulcher. Let's watch and listen.
Get in their storm cellar, and they wouldn't let us get in it.
Well, they had to pull it.
But you're okay. No, I don't care. You're okay.
Everybody in our family here
We're
is
fine.
okay. Our pet.
His name? Rushi.
Rushi.
Spell it for me. R-U-S-C-H-E. And your first name?
William
Beverly
and
Beverly. And Alan and Susie and Kenneth. That's our kid, our grandkids, and my son.
Thank you very much. Take
It's
care,
total
okay?
my house. It's total.
It totaled a lot worse, more of them a lot worse than ours.
Our back bedroom is fine.
This side of my shirt, but the other side it lifted up there.
Honey, we got insurance.
We was right there. We was right there behind
We're
that
in the
window
hallway.
right there.
Covered with mattresses.
And I got my hiney
This is our
all
grandbaby.
so-
She was worried about her puppy. Aaron's brand new Tahoe got Susan Paulson. Aaron's brand new Tahoe that he was so worried about us.
Put on there where the car is. If there's anything we can do, let us know, all right, if you need. I don't know what we can do either. Our cell phone's not working.
I just can't stand up.
You are looking at pictures from the Windmere Edition down in the Moore area. There's what's left of one home. It looks like there's some type of lawnmower or car underneath there. Just house after house, considerable damage, and what we've been told in some areas, possibly up to 500 homes in all gone.
I got a phone. What's the number?
Everyone okay?
They're going next street over. They said nobody's been over there. They've got some injured people next street over.
Can you do that now?
Once again, these pictures are right after the storm hit, and a lot of commotion going on, obviously. Folks not knowing about their loved ones. Obviously, a lot of concern. The latest count, what we hear right now, Kelly, up to 350 people.
Over here?
Yeah, we got one guy out. Yeah, I got 4 of them out here.
That's some of the damage we're talking about, where entire neighborhoods have just been completely wiped away. Homes are nothing but a litter across the countryside, and even the trees that remain are stripped naked. The rest of them are just blown over. These are areas that were pretty well developed, some of them.
Watch out for the lines.
Not a home left standing down there.
Not at all.
Boy.
Folks combing through the debris, trying to find any survivors. This is going to be, when we get the damage estimate of this, it's going to be phenomenal.
There's of course, there are several shelters set up tonight. We have mentioned that, and as you can see from this, folks are going to need a lot of places to stay. Some of the hotels are offering the rooms that they have available tonight to some of these tornado victims. Many of them will be staying in these shelters that are set up down in Moore in South Oklahoma City tonight.
Have you found anything?
Oak Crest Church of Christ is open to anyone who needs
He
that.
was over there on that side.
Tell me, we pulled him out. How did you know he was there?
We just what we're doing right now, just yelling and seeing if anybody's answering, stuff like that.
Anybody need help? Last time, did you actually hear somebody yell, "Yeah, I need help"?
Yeah, he was very. You couldn't even see him. We had to work a little bit to get him out. He was conscious.
That's the Windermere edition down in southwest Oklahoma City. Totally devastating tonight.
So you can't hear him, or they're too weak to scream.
Folks coming through looking for any survivors. There you heard one man saying that yes, indeed, he did find someone underneath the piles of rubble there. Gary England has been tracking these storms since early this afternoon, and he had mentioned, boy, as you see there, if you weren't underground, it would be tough to survive that. He joins us now tracking more storms tonight. Gary, what's the very latest?
We'll do a checkup on the Doppler 9000 XL, and we still have a tornado warning on this storm in Logan County. It's looking quite impressive as we look at it, becoming more enhanced. The wind velocities are not extremely strong, but it looks like some golf ball size hail in the Mulhall area. Circulation's back to the southwest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miles southwest of Mulhall. If you're traveling Interstate 35 north of Guthrie, do not do it at this particular time. So a tornado warning northern Logan County. It may make it to Orlando, Mulhall, Orlando, over to Lake Carl Blackwell. And we're going up to the northeast. And we've had a warning on a storm up in Pawnee County. And it's shoving on off through northeastern sections of Pawnee County and into Osage County. So those are the two main ones we have at the present time. We'll take a look at some video from Ranger 9 as Ranger 9 was coming in from the southwest. You can see the damage track. I'm assuming this is part of Moore. And you see the power line flashes in the distance. And see, it's so huge, you could not, it was so huge you couldn't really tell it was a tornado on the ground, but incredible damage. Some of this is going to fall, I'm sure, in the F5 category, probably 260 to 300 miles an hour. But very wide damage past some areas, I would think at least a mile wide. Other areas going to be smaller. Some areas going to be quite a bit larger. But once again, this was coming in, and I'm guessing on this location, probably coming in over parts of Moore and South Oklahoma City. The tornado is still on the ground in the distance. You can see occasionally some power line flashes going on. Just incredible damage. And as we were telling you today, with storms of this type, you have to be below ground level usually to survive. And mobile homes, wood frame homes, many cases even brick and stone homes will not survive magnitude F4, F5 tornado. And at times, once again, it looked like maybe a mile wide. Other times it was much smaller, but tornado still on the ground at that particular time. Still some power line flashes going on as it was moving northeastward through parts of Moore, South Oklahoma City. We have reports now that, in fact, for quite some time now, that Interstate 44 is closed at Stroud due to damage. Stroud Hospital is out of power. There's been damage at many locations in Oklahoma. A lot of power is out. And once again, we're looking at Ranger 9 as it was tracking the storm today as it moved to the northeast. At times it moved east-northeast, other times north-northeast, but just literally, in some areas, smashing everything. So that's all we have from here at the moment.
May 3rd will be a day that we will never forget.
Not for a long time. Chris Halsey standing by down in Moore with an update. Chris?
We're at the First Baptist Church here on Northeast 27th Street. Just to give you a reference point, we're just north of a housing addition that's absolutely been leveled. There's still hundreds of people here trying to find loved ones, and well, quite frankly, they have no place else to go. They certainly don't have any homes. Here's the update. New information right now. We have information from the police department that they are literally evacuating the town of Moore. They are moving people out of Moore as fast as they possibly can, out the main routes. They've shut down all the exit ramps off I-35, and they are simply not going to let people back in by morning. They are doing a street-by-street shutdown of Moore. They obviously do that for security reasons, for search purposes. There's no power or electricity here anyway. They say, really, nobody needs to be here. They certainly want to give information to people who may have loved ones who have been affected, but they can come to some of the service centers like the First Baptist Church here and find some of those things out. Otherwise, they literally want this town cleared out.
All right, Chris Halsney down in Moore tonight. We can also tell you the Associated Press is now reporting that 12 people have been confirmed dead in tonight's deadly tornadoes.
Let's go to Bill Teagans in the newsroom, who is giving us an update. In fact, you even have word when the Blazers game was going on, the evacuations down to Myriad.
That's exactly right, Robin. The Myriad was evacuated, as you know, tonight. The hockey game was delayed for about a half hour. They did start it. It went into overtime, and but quite a night down there, as you can imagine. The medical people, very busy tonight. Let's roll some videotape that photographer Stan Chase just shot from Hillcrest Hospital at Southwest 59th and Penn. Ambulances coming in throughout the night. This is unedited video we just got in a few moments ago, but we're told up to 150 people have been treated at the hospital there already tonight, and they've been bringing them in, we're told, from cars, on ironing boards, you name it. People are coming in and being treated with injuries, and you just saw the devastation that we've been showing you on the video over the last couple of minutes, and it's unbelievable what we've seen. And of course, the medical people very busy. This is Hillcrest Hospital, as we mentioned, and we're told that the cafeteria is full of beds there. The outpatient area is now full of beds, and they're just treating an awful lot of people. Here are some getting out of the ambulance, but as we've said and other people have told you tonight, they are coming in by private cars. They are coming in, being carried in by family members. It's just unbelievable what we've seen tonight, and probably what we'll see even in sunrise tomorrow morning, and the devastation again is just phenomenal. And Kelly and Robin, I know you've been through a lot of these things. I've lived in Oklahoma most of my life and never really been in a tornado. I've been in floods where I thought the devastation was unbelievable, how quickly things would happen like that, where I pulled people off of the roofs of their homes with water up there, but never have I seen anything like this. And I've lived in Oklahoma most of my life, so I know you guys have covered much more of these things than I have, but it's really amazing to see what's happened tonight. And again, you people have been through this so many times, and we always see so many people pull together. That's the case again tonight with the police and the fire and obviously the medical people. And Kelly and Robin, I was talking to Ed Murray a few moments ago, and he lives northwest of town, and he and his family were in the basement. And the tornado missed his house by about a quarter of a mile.
Wow.
So, I mean, boy, it's striking home to a lot of people. And again, our thanks to all of the great people at Hillcrest Hospital, who are just one place and many that are doing a terrific job tonight. Yeah, Bill, we've seen a lot of tornado nights, but we have never seen one like this one, Bill. Okay, thanks for updating us on that. We can also tell you, as we saw Red Cross there, that the Red Cross is opening its blood bank 24 hours right now because a lot of blood is going to be needed. That's at Northeast 10th and Lincoln Boulevard here in Oklahoma City.
More tragic news coming in south of the metro, the Bridge Creek area, once again south of the metro. We're hearing from Mark Goodman, who is a Dibble police officer there, that they now have at least 10 fatalities in that Bridge Creek area, and his fear is that that count could go much higher.
We'll keep you certainly abreast of what is happening there, and we fear the numbers could grow larger. We want to go to News 9's Chris Harrison, who's standing by out in the Del City area and another area out by Rose State College. Chris, where we heard that cars had been thrown all around on I-40, some of them thrown into a nearby creek.
Well, Kelly, that's the least of it. I mean, a police helicopter just came over with its spotlight, and it's just eerie. I've never been in a war zone, don't want to be, but I can't imagine the devastation being much worse than this. I mean, the entire neighborhood, as you just said, is just absolutely destroyed, about half a mile to a mile wide, and the damage goes on for miles and miles. And police crews, ambulances, gas trucks still coming in and out of this neighborhood. And like Chris Halsney said down in Moore, don't even try and come to this neighborhood right now if you have friends or relatives, because police have cordoned off the area. They're checking everybody coming in. They're checking folks coming out. They're going to just hold it tight till tomorrow and then try and figure out the extent of the damage. Let's take a look at the damage. And these are some folks just on the outskirts. Here's what they had to say.
Where were you? Were you in that closet?
We were all in this closet. All of us. My husband was covered over us like this.
He was in the hallway?
What I've heard from police, there were several injuries, but right now in this particular area, no fatalities. But even in the darkness, you can see the just absolute devastation. And coming up here, I think, is one of the most telling signs. You will see the foundation of a house. Coming up, you see the cars, but right here, look at the dirt, and you see the cement block coming up around this area. Look. that is a foundation. The house, 100% gone, just like it was made of matchsticks, just blown apart completely. Again, cars blown all over the neighborhood. The folks said they were in their garages and just taken away. The streets, you couldn't drive through these neighborhoods even if you wanted to. 5-6 feet of rubble and debris piled up throughout the streets. So emergency crews, you can see, had to park about a half mile away and then walk in. And some more trouble that emergency crews are having is finding addresses, because there are no houses, there are no city blocks.
Chris, we're gonna have to come back to you in just a little bit, Chris. Gary's got another one going tonight. Let's check in with him right now, Gary.
There's been another tornado warning here in central Oklahoma, Payne County. Let's go to top 9000 XL. And this storm continues to develop. It looks like it's just moving northeast about 30 miles per hour. It's over northeastern Logan County. That's in this area right here in top 9000 XL. So Payne County over to Lake Carl Blackwell. This storm, the circulation not as strong as earlier today, but keep in mind, tornado warning for Payne County. I'll zoom in very closely here for you on top 9000 XL. And the circulation will be just northeast of Mulhall, down to the Mulhall area. So from Orlando to Mulhall to Lake Carl Blackwell, stay alert to the possibility of another tornado in there. And we'll just do a quick broad shot for you. Thunderstorms across northern Oklahoma. This one right in here west of Stillwater, moving northeast, is tornadic. There's a line of severe thunderstorms. We also have from the Perry area, right here along Interstate 35, Perry area, that Highway 64 is closed due to debris. Highway 86 is closed to Highway 51. We have one fatality in the Perry area, several injuries, no power. Many parts of Oklahoma are without power at this particular time. Tornadoes today moving in from the southwest. In some cases, up to 1 mile wide, winds probably 260 to 300 in some event, and we'll have more on that just a little later.
All right, let's go back out to Chris Harrison and continue on. Chris, we were looking at some of the pictures from your area as you were telling us about the foundation being ripped off from one man's home.
Yeah, well, several homes throughout this neighborhood. And you could see some of the houses on the outskirts of the area that remain kind of intact, but if you were in the path there, and you know, Gary says that there's certain tornadoes where you just have to be underground to survive them. Now I know. Seeing is believing is just unbelievable, and that's where you had to be. Again, the streets here cluttered. This is walking down the middle of a street. Folks looking for neighbors, and again, I've been here for years, and so have you guys. It's no surprise that Oklahomans pulled together immediately, and I was amazed by the calmness with which everybody went about trying to find each other, trying to find family members, helping each other out. I guess, you know, we've been through this so many times, I guess we're just used to it, taking care of each other. This is a house just on the outskirts. He didn't even get the full brunt of this storm. About 13 neighbors were underground. Again, as Gary said, that's where he had to be to ride this one out. And they were trapped underneath the house for a long time because a lot of the rubble, some of the blocks, and the dryer was on top of them. Took them a while to get out. One more note I want to throw out before I throw it back to you guys. A young gentleman came up to me. The Sweetbriar Nursing Home just down the street from here, 113 folks were inside. They took shelter. They are all okay. Again, it's the Sweetbriar Nursing Home. 113 folks out here in Midwest City, and they are fine, guys.
Good news. Chris Harrison out in the Del City, Midwest City area tonight. We want to look at some more of that video coming in from the Windermere neighborhood down in South Oklahoma City. This video is it's difficult to watch because there is so much damage down there and so many people in distress. And this is just moments after the tornado came through.
There's a lot of walking wounded folks that we've heard about tonight. We've heard about hundreds of injuries. There you see one person being loaded up, getting ready to be taken away. People really in shock, Kelly.
Well, what you typically see in tornado damage in Oklahoma is you'll see 2 or 3 homes hit with their roofs ripped off, a couple that are unscathed with just a few shingles, and then another one that's heavily damaged. But this whole neighborhood has just been leveled, and it gives you some understanding about how wide it was. Let's listen.
Everyone okay as far as no?
People really shook down there. It gives you some idea about how wide and how powerful these winds were.
Standing.
Right between there. The only thing keeping that up is my sofa. I put my sofa hit. Nails everywhere.
Stay right here.
these people survived in those little hallways like that right there, right in the middle of the house, and you can see all the exterior walls are pretty much gone. And there, right in the middle, is a hallway that survived, and they were fortunate because they had that left standing.
This scene is taking place in where hundreds of homes were across the metro, especially in the Moore area and in the Midwest City area tonight, two of those hardest hit areas. Let's listen into these guys.
Edge, and I was underneath the sofa in the hallway.
The question we always ask is, what did it sound like? What did it feel like?
I really can't describe it. It was just tremendous force inside the house. Just got hit with glass shards and dirt everywhere. And then it took a while, but it finally passed. I bet I could see daylight up in my house. I could see it from underneath my sofa.
What house?
Yeah.
And then when you opened your door and you looked out and you saw the rest of your neighborhood.
Well, I didn't open my door. I just come out from underneath there, and I was in awe of the destruction. It's unbelievable what just happened. It's terrible.
How long have you lived here?
I just moved in here in October.
So he's gone through 2 tornadoes in this neighborhood since he moved in.
Last year, same area.
Yes, same area.
Those shots down the street and across the neighborhood are staggering.
It's this one right here!
That's the worst fear, I think, for loved ones, not knowing.
There's somebody already down left in there. No, it's this one!
These folks,
she doesn't even
look like they know which house is theirs.
Denise Clayton Champ! Denise! Denise! Clayton! Denise! Hey, shut up, be quiet! Denise! Denise! Hello! Anybody here? Anybody here? Denise! Hello? Denise! Hello, anybody around? Denise!
We've seen a lot of videotape like this tonight, folks. The problem is there is no good clearinghouse right now for the information on those who are missing. They're trying to get that organized. A lot of people are still missing tonight.
The hospitals are asking that you do not call the hospitals. They're trying to coordinate that family would somehow get in touch with you, but they're trying to keep those lines free for emergency situations. In fact, Hillcrest has asked us to pass along to you, please do not call Hillcrest Hospital tonight. They need to keep those emergency lines open.
This edition, this Windermere edition.
Can you go? Yeah. He'll go.
Okay, we need you in here. Hop in here. Let's go.
Here.
This edition would fall into that area that has been closed off tonight by authorities.
Got other people? Hey, can he get out that way? Can he get out this way? Hang on there. Don't let go too fast.
Chris was mentioning how Oklahomans just pitch in and help when there's a need, and obviously, once again, there's a need. Neighbors helping neighbors, strangers helping strangers here tonight, down in the Windermere Addition.
We want to remind you again, the Red Cross is opening up its blood bank all night long tonight. There will be blood needed, and also Feed the Children is already organizing its efforts.
And we understand we will be having a Feed the Children truck here at the TV station for necessity items. I believe that 5 or 5:30 in the morning the truck will be here.
It's bright and early. We'll
I believe it's at 5:30 in the morning. We will have a Feed the Children truck here at the TV station.
We also got word earlier this evening that Lowe's, one of the large local hardware stores, was going to be open as late tonight as people needed to get in there and get supplies to help in these areas hit by the tornado.
Governor Keating responding tonight, saying the state is doing everything in its power to respond to this disaster as quickly as possible.
Tamara Pratt was telling us about this. All of the homes in this particular neighborhood leveled except the one that was standing, which was on fire.
How dare
She's dead right here.
She's right there.
Yeah, she's dead.
Well, a lot of this video was unedited. I do want to warn you that,
My sister-in-law was killed. She's over there in the bathtub. Oh, God. There's 3 babies. They're at the hospital. My brother and her newborn.
Our hearts
and
go
my
out to
two
these
nephews. They're all
families who have lost so much tonight.
Her brother got in his truck over there. And their car's behind them. She just had her baby a month ago.
This lady had.
For sure? She's in the bathtub. My sister right there. Jeanette Rogers.
Spell it for me. T-A-N?
E-T-T-E.
R-O-D-G-E-R-S. You two are?
Sisters. I'm Olivia Henderson. My sister Lyria.
When you got here, that's how you found her? I mean, you were here looking to find her?
We were looking to find her. I seen somebody laying on that tub. Then I just walked up there. Because we couldn't really know which house was what.
tragic scene down in southwest Oklahoma City.
It looked
tonight.
like her. I was like, that looks like her because the doorway and everything.
Oh, God.
And again, we can tell you 12 people so far confirmed dead, 350 hurt, primarily in the south and east part of the metro area, but some even south of the metro area too.
We've been watching on that southwest side. Let's move over to the other side of I-35, just east of there at the First Baptist Church. Chris Halsney standing by. Chris, what's the update tonight?
Well, we do have some new information here. Joining us is Sergeant Scott Singer of the Moore Police Department, and we do have some new information on possible fatalities tonight.
At this time, we're not confirming, but it appears that we have 3 fatalities. These fatalities were from the area that was west of the interstate between 12th and 27th. We are expecting the remains of those people to be brought to the makeshift morgue here at the First Baptist Church. At that time, an identification will be made, and we will be able to provide other information.
This is almost unbelievable at this point with the kind of devastation of this community that's going on, but you've already seen some looting going on.
It's true. Apparently, some people don't care that this city will be in mourning for some time and in repair for some time. They see it as an opportunity to go out and vandalize, burglarize. We want them to know that there are a lot of officers on the street tonight from neighboring jurisdictions and our own officers. We will be looking for these people, and when we locate and arrest them, we'll deal with them in the most harsh manner that we can.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Sergeant Scott Singer, Moore Police Department. He is just one of hundreds and hundreds of emergency personnel here working this neighborhood, trying to figure out exactly who's trapped where, and if the neighborhood is clear and safe. Again, you heard they've already had some looting problems. That goes back to them wanting to shut this city down, literally get everybody out that they can and shut off the roads so that they can control situations like looting and rescue operations for the rest of the evening. Now back to you.
Hey, we'll talk back with Chris in a moment. We need to get back to Gary, another update on storms.
The storm continues to intensify to our north. Let's go to up 9000 XL. And it's just west of Stillwater. Movement appears to be east right toward the Stillwater area. So the strong circulation continues to intensify. This is just north of Oklahoma City. And this is Interstate 35 right here. And it had been moving to the northeast. It's intensifying a bit, turning to a little bit more to the northeast. So Lake Carl, Blackwell, Stillwater area. Stay alert to the possibility of a tornado in there. This storm continues to intensify. We'll call it generally northeast at about 30 miles per hour. But Stillwater, you may not be out of it. So from Orlando to Lake Carl, Blackwell to Stillwater, up to Morrison to south of Perry, stay alert to the possibility of another tornado. We're looking at velocities on another radar, and they are very, very strong and intensifying. This could put another tornado on the ground at any moment. Stay at TV9. We'll keep you advised.
You heard the Moore police officer talking about some reports of looting down there. We can tell you Governor Keating has contacted the National Guard, and you can expect to see National Guardsmen out within the next few hours, I would imagine, patrolling some of those areas.
We have received a few phone numbers where folks can go or call and check on missing family members. In the Tuttle area, the Red Cross Center, the number is 381-3875. And in Midwest City, the Red Cross number, there are 2 of them, 734-1290 and 734-1291. That is to check on loved ones in the Midwest City area. Now we're looking at pictures down in the Moore area. This near what, 119th Street, Kelly?
119th and Southwestern.
Is everyone okay?
cut.
We just got cut. A little bit of glass flying around. We're okay.
There's no one else you know of that's hurt, trapped,
There's
injured.
somebody hurt down there. Don't know. Aren't you glad you came in the bathroom, big guy?
Chris was talking about the fact that they're trying to essentially evacuate the entire town of Moore tonight to get people out.
Let's go ahead and listen in to someone else from down in this exact same area.
Up for a while and finally heard the windows crashing and everything came down on top of us, and then we just basically had to sit there for about a half hour, 45 minutes.
Literally everything came in?
Right, yes, ma'am, on top of us, and they finally dug us out, the firemen from around here.
Could you see the walls?
Nope, couldn't see a thing. I was buried underneath everything, about a ton of rubble or so.
And so, were you having to yell?
Yep, yeah, basically, yeah. There was the girl from above me, there was myself, and there was another gentleman that was next door to us, and we were all yelling, and finally they heard us. It was a little bit of excitement for a Monday night, you know?
Thank God to be alive?
Yes, ma'am, very much so.
You just saying we're a little scared that you might not get out? Or?
Yeah, about the time that I got hit in the back of the head and in the back with the wall, at that point in time, I was like, oh, here we go. Am I going to make it out or not? I'm Steve Gavette.
Steve Gavette?
Yes, ma'am.
You're out safe.
I am too. Now I just got to go see if I can get a hold of my sister here somehow. I'm sure she's about going crazy.
You know, daylight tomorrow will reveal a lot more, and these folks trying to seek some shelter tonight, but this is going to be a long haul.
Yeah, and we're looking at focusing on this damage here primarily in the metro, where we have seen so much of the concentrated destruction, but there's damage in Chickasha, there's damage in the outskirts.
El Reno.
Between here and Chickasha, in El Reno, in Cashin. Damage we've heard in Piedmont, Crescent. All through different parts of Oklahoma that we're going to be seeing when the sun comes up tomorrow.
I've seen a lot of tornadoes in Oklahoma before. I remember the April 10th, 1979 tornado that hit Wichita Falls and Lawton. And, you know, that one was on the ground for some time, but I have never witnessed a day like this, that even up to midnight when we started at close to 4:30 this afternoon with tornado warnings, and now, you know, some 6.5 hours later almost, we are still seeing tornado warnings in a pretty much concentrated area of our state.
And this particular tornado that did all this damage you're looking at on the ground, as best we can figure right now, maybe 95 to 100 miles on the ground, and for a couple of hours, and it was wide most of the way.
Started down near the Apache area. Gary, that's
difficult to tell, but that looks like the apartment complex.
That's what I was thinking. That's the apartment complex where Amy Hawley was reporting to us from. Well, that top floor. That would not be a safe place to be.
Nope. I have no information on any casualties at all.
Is Hanson down there?
I didn't see him. I just came from there.
We continue trying to update the situation of how many people have been affected, and even by tomorrow we might not know the full extent of all this, but the last count, as you've heard us, we have said 350 people injured. Most of those injured taken to Hillcrest Hospital, the majority of those hurt. And what we understand, Kelly, from talking with the emergency officials there, as you know, they were just tagging the people as they came in, tending to those who were hurt the worst.
Right. We also know Westmore High School has canceled classes tomorrow because it was heavily damaged in the tornado. Bridge Creek schools also closed tomorrow. We're not sure about Moore High School, but I suspect we'll be anxious to hear from them and see what the situation is with classes there tomorrow, because there's a tremendous amount of damage. A lot of it in Moore is, quite frankly, on the west side of I-35, and that's where Westmore High School is. The original Moore High School is on the east side of I-35, but there is also damage there.